Afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Little drippers, puddler drippers. Hope we're all right. Quick COVID update just before we get into anything else. I've tested positive still. Flipping heck. So yeah, I can't go anywhere. I feel all right, but yeah, just frustrating. Can't do nothing. Can't go anywhere. Supposed to get the football tonight. That's off. Well, football's on. I'm off. So I'm gonna have to watch it on the telly. But there we go. Never mind. Never mind. C'est la vie. So how's everybody doing? Everybody all right? Jolly good. Hope everyone's good. We've just had a message on Telegram. FOREX standard time. Oh yeah, there we go. So AMA is not for another half hour. He's moved it again. He always does it. Never mind. He does it to me all the time. Never mind. We will entertain ourselves for half hour. I'll stick some music on in a sec. But before we get into that, just very quick recap as to where we are. So Animal Farm, we are TVL's 131 million. That's been holding really strong over the last couple of days. It's even gone up a couple of million, to be honest. But if you bear in mind everything that's been happening in the crypto market in the last 3 or 4 days, I mean, it's just been an absolute bloodfest. But yeah, this is still holding its own, and the King of Kings drip is just paying out. It still just keeps paying. I know the price has gone down a bit, and I know some people are, let's say, worried about the price going down as it has been. But I've said all along, I'm not worried about the price at all. I'm literally just compounding, hydrating while the prices are where they are. I'm just adding to my bag and letting it build up and letting this compound interest do its thing. 366 drip now. Again, if you remember on my first video, I started with 1.24. That's not bad, is it? That's pretty good going. So yeah, it's gone down, but yeah, it's if we look at the price, where are we? $2.65. Which is frustrating, I know. I mean, of course, we all want it to go up. Of course, we do. But again, like I said, I'm not worried about it at all. It will bounce back. Market's been absolutely bled to death over the last few days. So yeah, it's holding, and I'm sure it will come back. Again, not financial advice, remember, but I'm sure it will come back. Anyway, my piggy bank ticking over, doing its thing. Second to load up. So I'm just letting that now just build up over the weekend, and I'm going to take a little bit out and split it, because I'm trying to put as many pigs as I can into my pig pen. I flipping love this pig pen. I've only got 3 or just over 3 pigs. So I mean, you can see that the current price, well, that's $300. So last week I earned $5 plus a little bit of a pig. This week so far I've got $2.80. And again, remember, this is free money. I've still got my pigs. They're still sat there. The price going up and down, obviously, but yeah, they're still there doing their thing. But this is just free money. I can do what I want with that. So again, like I said before, once a week, I'm just compounding the pigs, claiming the BUSD, and I'll use the BUSD to either buy more pigs or put some more into the faucet. These prices, I'm really tempted just to keep on plowing as much as I can into my faucet. So let's stick a little bit of music. Awful. Entertain ourselves while FOREX is doing this thing. Oh, not that one again. Why does it always start with that one? I hate that one. I'll set that one off. Here we go. I'm going to take that one off because it's horrible. Terrible. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody all right? Oh, by the way, what I think of it, I have started a raffle. So when I get to 500 subscribers, I will be giving away 3 drip to 1 lucky winner. So to enter that, all you got to do is put exclamation mark raffle in the chat, and you'll be entered into the draw as and when I hit 500 subscribers. You got to be a subscriber though, obviously. Sorry to non-subscribers. But if you can't be bothered to hit the subscribe button, I ain't going to send you 3 drip, am I? Let's be honest. So if you want to enter that giveaway, just exclamation mark raffle. I better put. Here we go. Get the right screen on it. There we go. Right. There we are. So at the top it tells you what to do. And once I get to 500 subscribers, just need you to, well, you don't need to wait to get to 500. Just enter exclamation mark raffle, and you'll go into the draw. You know what? I'll go into the draw, and that'll be for when I get to 500 subscribers. And when I get to 1,000 subscribers, there'll be another giveaway. So yeah, support the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It just helps to get this video out there. I know I'm sort of waffling while we're waiting for FOREX, but we'll keep ourselves entertained for half an hour or so. Just daft music that hopefully you can hear. So where are people from? We've got a couple of people watching at the minute. I know people are probably still waiting. They don't want to listen to me. They don't want to listen to FOREX. But where are people from? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are with the drip price. Gone down a bit, as we say, but it's just paying out. Still 1% a day. It stopped. It was doing its thing. It's an absolute beast, this thing. It just doesn't stop. At least I managed to work out how the music works now. Right, innit? I had to move a microphone, by the way, because it was getting in the way all the time, so I couldn't see what I was doing. So that's probably a good thing. But yeah, we got to get subscribers up to 500 because Kim Kardashian is starting to panic a little bit. That little dripper's not catching her quick enough. So if you know anyone who hasn't subscribed, just go and tap them on the shoulder and get them. Just tickle the subscribe button. Help get my numbers up. It really helps. And it helps to get the video out there, which is good for drip, because obviously the more people are talking about drip, the more the message gets out there. So let's try and get that focus back on drip. I know there's again a lot of people talking about drip at the minute. You think what's happened over the last few days in the crypto markets? Yeah, Bitcoin's just been smashed to bits. Ethereum's been smashed. Well, they all have. They've all been smashed to bits, haven't they? But this just still keeps paying 1% a day. Doesn't care. Brilliant. Absolutely love it to bits. So yeah, price is down a little bit, but as I say, yeah, the price doesn't bother me at the minute. Price is only relevant when you're buying or selling. You're just holding it. Doesn't matter what the price is. Looks nice. The higher that number, it looks nice, but doesn't really make a difference. Alright, Dobby, are you right? Still in the UK? You're becoming my regular Dobby. That sounds really weird as well, doesn't it? Good, yeah. You're becoming my regular. What you thinking about the price then, Dobby? Worried or you're not worried? Any more updates on it? 20 minutes. Keep waiting for that to go back again. It's Thanks for entering the raffle, Dobby. You're at the moment. I think you're probably the only one. You've got a pretty good chance of winning as and when I get to 500. Or there'll be more. Not worried about the price at all. Nor me. So it is what it is. Just keep doing its thing. I'm still convinced by Christmas we'll be back up to sort of $5-6 at least. That's just, again, just my opinion. When you think about everything that's coming with the AMAs, they're not really AMAs that he's done over the last couple of days. They've just been chats, haven't they? But yeah, with everything that's coming, you've got the new drip UI coming out. You've got a Fiat on ramp, which from the sounds of it is a couple of weeks away. That's going to be huge because it's just going to make it so much easier. I mean, especially when you think about all these central exchanges being smashed to pieces at the minute in the news. So I've got itchy nose. Yeah, to get into Drip at the minute, you've got to go through Central Exchange. You've got to transfer it to your MetaMask wallet. Like I've said before, it's a real headache. Here on RAM, you literally just go to the Animal Farm page, click the button, and you're off. And you stick your card in, and that's it, done. And you're ready to do it for pigs, dogs, and Drip. And I'm sure he said the other day, Drip is first. I'm sure he said that Drip was going to be the first one. That's going to be huge. I really do think that's going to be huge. Then you've got Scratchy coming at the end of the year, or before the end of the year. That's going to be big as well. I'm really interested to see what he's going to say today, whether he's going to drop a bomb, because he was talking again the other day about big celebrity name, wasn't there? What's that bloody song again? Really got to take that out. Yeah, I hope it's a bit high once we max out those wallets. Absolutely, mate. I think if I remember rightly, you were a little bit ahead of me. Might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure you were a little bit ahead of me in terms of your faucet. But yeah, you're right. You know, when we get to those max wallets, what, 12 months, 18 months time? I mean, even to be fair, even if the price was $2, you're talking what, 100,000 Drip at $2? I mean, I'm not greedy. Well, I am a little bit. But if it was, $20, $30, $50, then all well and good. For those that have just joined, we're still waiting for the AMA to start. It was supposed to start at 3 o'clock, but in true FOREX fashion, it's 3:30, so it's a half-hour delay. Hence the very, very poor taste in music. I really wish I could find a way to get proper music on here without forking out a fortune. It sounds really offensive, doesn't it, to the person that took all the time to write this music and play it, and it's not proper music. It is proper music. You know what I mean, though. Oh, one other thing as well, just while I think of it, I'm sure everyone's already clocked this. If you haven't, on the main Animal Farm page, which is animalfarm.app, another competition. So $5,000 again. So that's, so far he's given 2 lots of $5,000 away. If you haven't entered this already, it's just another 5 grand you could win. So it's very easy. All you got to do is follow the Twitter page on Animal Farm. You got to retweet the Animal Farm tweet, and then you can get extra entries for anybody else that you, or goes through the link from your referral link. So if you haven't entered it, go and enter it. Only 519 entries so far. $5,000. Not to be sniffed at. So we're supposed to be at. I was supposed to be going to Molyneux tonight. Watch Wolves again. But having tested positive the second time this week, I won't be going. This is a right pain, but c'est la vie. We're playing Arsenal. But Arsenal are top. If you don't know, Arsenal are top. We're joint bottom. We're playing awful. But on the plus side, I've only missed 2 games this season, and we won them both. They're the only 2 games we won. So you never know. Keep everything crossed. Stranger things have happened. But our new manager's arrived. He landed the other day. Just on lemonade at the minute. It's too early for beer. Yeah, it's too early for. I can't do a beer yet. I'll be asleep by 5 o'clock if I have beer. I'm old. Again, so for those who are watching, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really does help. Leave a comment. Again, it helps to get this algorithm thing, which I still don't get. Again, remember, when old fogey, I don't understand algorithms. Didn't understand when I was at school, let alone now. But it helps the algorithm. It helps get the message out there, get the video out there. And as I said earlier on, you can see along the top, there is a competition. So as soon as I get to 500 subscribers, I'll be giving away 3 drip to somebody. So to enter that, all you got to do is put exclamation mark raffle and you'll be in. So if you haven't done that already, worth doing. It's only 3 drip, I know, but throughout 3 drip, you think what it could be worth in 3 months, 6 months. Never know. My drip garden again as well. I'm literally just, where's it gone? There it is. Letting that build up over the weekend. So my plan with the garden and my piggy bank is to compound it for 5 days, and then the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to let it build up and then take it out, split it. The drip goes into my faucet, and I've got the BUSD again, which I can do with whatever I want. Likewise with my piggy bank. Again, the other thing as well I noticed last night when I was looking, the farms, or not the farms, the dog pound. If you remember my live stream a couple of weeks ago, or was it Saturday? Might have been last Saturday. I remember myself now. That's bad, isn't it? I bought four dogs, or 4.22. So they're in the auto compounding pool. So it's build. You know, again, the LPs are building up. So down the bottom here, they're building up. What I did notice was, again, he was talking about the fact that people weren't seeing their pigs that they were earning in the auto compounding pool because there wasn't enough decimal points. So he's now added some extra decimal points there, look. So I've got 0.0005 pigs. Again, isn't a lot, but I've only got, what, $200 worth of dogs. So I'm not expecting that to go through the roof. But again, I'm just going to leave that, let it build up over time. And then when it's worth taking, you know, claiming my pigs, I'm going to claim my pigs and stick them in the pig pen. I am literally loving the pig pen. Pig pen is bonkers. Evening, Bruce, or afternoon, Bruce. What's going on, drippers? Thanks, mate. Yeah, feeling a little bit better. Still not 100%. As I said, I've tested positive again this morning, which is bloody annoying. But I do feel better than I did. I should say as well, I know people were... There were a few people waiting on Tuesday night to watch that live stream of the AMA on Tuesday night. I really planned to do it. I wasn't feeling well at all, but I thought I can just do a stream, but I thought no, I can't. Just couldn't do it. An early night was definitely in order, and it was probably the right thing to do, to be fair. So. Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that. So again, if you have just joined, we're still just waiting for the AMA to start. I keep bit there, so yeah, we've got about 15 minutes to wait, so we'll keep ourselves entertained for 10-15 minutes. Thank you so much for those who are joining. I really do appreciate it. Again, I know there's lots of channels out there that you can choose to go and watch the AMA from. I appreciate the fact that you've taken the time out of your day and the trouble to watch little old me. I do appreciate that. Look at coin market cap. Can't type. Don't know whether I want to do this. It's scary. Oh, way up. Oh, greens. Look at that. Look at all that green. 0.76%. Do you know what though? I genuinely sit and think, right? If you hold Bitcoin, I mean, again, some of you may hold Bitcoin. I don't know. But you know, if you hold Bitcoin, what have you got to do now other than just sit and wait and hope that the price goes up? With drip, okay, obviously we're all waiting for the price to go up. Of course we are, but we're still getting our 1% a day. You're not getting that if you're in Bitcoin. Bloody marvellous. Yeah, Bruce, I bought some more drip the other day. I couldn't receive, even though I wasn't very well. I couldn't not do it. Under $3. I had to top up a little bit. Still a little dripper. I'm waiting for the day I become a big dripper. Sounds wrong again as well, doesn't it? But yeah, still a little dripper. I don't know what's the technical. Do you reckon we come up with a technical definition of a little dripper? We could probably come up with it somewhere. But yes, as I was saying, if you hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these, all you're doing is waiting for this to go back up. You ain't got nothing else to do. With Drip, you've got, as I say, you're getting your 1% a day. You've got the animal farm you can do stuff with, just to generate more. And as I said, the pig. I'm honestly loving this pig pen. I mean, the 3 pigs. Yeah, $5 a week. That's $5 a week of free money. Too good to be true, really. Again, that's all going to go back in. Oh, another, just for those of you that are in the UK, anyone managed to get Peter Kay tickets? I got a couple. I was lucky I got a couple this morning. Bloody nightmare that was, though. Garlic bread! Oh, I can't wait. I've got to wait for like a year to go and see it, but I can't wait. Looking forward to that. That should be really, really good. I love Peter Kay. Makes me laugh. I think not make you laugh. Like Stunner. I reckon Stunner should go on tour. I'll go and see him. Stunner on tour. Can you imagine that? Going out on stage. What's going on, guys? Oh dear. Wonder when this will hit the bottom. I mean, I've heard figures of $12,000, $11,000 for Bitcoin before it hits the bottom. That's been banded around quite a bit. That's the case. It's got a way to go yet. I think we've still got a bit of pain before we start seeing any sort of light at the end of the tunnel. Again, not financial advice, but look at this. It's frightening, isn't it? But like I said, if you hold Bitcoin, what else you got to do? Just sit there and wait. At least with Drip, you got. To be fair, with Drip, if nothing else, you get to watch the likes of people like me talk crap on YouTube for an hour and a half. All joking aside, though, what I will say is the Drip community is the best. I've been in crypto for probably about 18 months. The Drip community by far is the best by a mile. They're just so supportive. They're just funny as well. People are just funny. And again, most people, of course, you get some that are worried about the price. You get your fudders as you always will do. But generally speaking, most people aren't that fussed about the price, because the price, like we always say, it means nothing unless you're buying or selling. People are just adding at the minute, or they're compounding. This is good for us right now, because it means we can load up on our Drip for when the price does go up. This 1% a day is just nuts. I'll get to what, 400. I'm trying to work this out now. Yeah, about just under a fortnight, I reckon. Get to 400. That's again because I DCA'd a little bit. Again, just a reminder for everyone who has just joined, we're still waiting for FOREX. The AMA hasn't started yet. You've not missed anything. We're about 7 minutes away from the AMA starting, or 7 minutes away from the AMA being put back for another half an hour. No, we're going to go with 7 minutes for the AMA. Confident with that. And again, as I've said a couple of times, if you haven't already entered the raffle, I am doing a giveaway for when I get to 500 subscribers. I am currently at 456 subscribers, which again is fantastic. And everyone that has subscribed, thanks so much. Again, like I've said this before on videos, I honestly only thought the numbers of subscribers I'd get would be 2, and that would be my mum and dad. And neither of them have got a clue what I'm talking about. But they subscribed anyway because they felt like they should. But yeah, 456 is fantastic. When I get to 500, if you If you want to enter the raffle, the giveaway, all you got to do is 1, be a subscriber, 2, enter into the chat, ! raffle, and you'll be entered into the draw. As soon as I hit 500 subscribers, I'm giving a three drip away to 1 person. Okay, so it's ! raffle to enter it. Again, spoke about this earlier on. Remember to go and enter the competition if you haven't done so already. This is a new one. So this is on the animalfarm.app page. It is crypto related. If you're not into crypto, if you're watching and you're not into crypto at the moment, you haven't got to spend any money. You haven't got to do anything other than retweet a couple of things and follow Animal Farm on Twitter. Not going to cost you a thing, but you could win $5,000. So, again, you know, your shout. Oh, not that one again. Bloody hell. I have to sort out my playlist. There we go. Come on now. I've heard so many times. It just picks them out. And it's like, I'm just going to annoy you now and play this one again and again and again. Even though I stick it on shuffle. Bruce, you're a little dripper too. Nice. Yeah, we've got to get a definition of what a little dripper is. So I started with 1. I've no idea how many you got in your faucet, Bruce. But yeah, this channel is aimed at little drippers, people with small balances. And I've shown before, it's thousands of us. You know, what was it? 130,000 wallet holders in the faucet, and over half, well over half, got less than 200 drip. There's thousands of us. So this channel's aimed at them. So yeah, I should have 60,000. Why haven't I got 60,000 followers? Come on, sort me out, guys. Get your dog to subscribe. 200 in your faucet. Nice, Bruce. That's good. How long have you been in drip then? Been in for a while, or was that your starting point, or what? Watch someone who isn't a whale. Yeah, I'm not quite classing myself as a whale yet. I'm probably more of a koi carp. No, I'm not even a koi carp. They're more expensive than whales, aren't they? Goldfish. I'm more of a goldfish. Alright, couple of minutes. Keep an eye on that clock. Don't want to miss anything. Again, according to the message on Telegram, well, let's have a look. It always said that there was a chance to win $500 in 10 minutes. Yeah, $500 prize. Don't know what that's about. You started with 15 3 months ago and you built up to 200 already. That's good going. You've been doing some DCA. Nice. With these prices where they are at the minute, you know, it's again, this is just me. This is what I'm going to be doing as much as I can. I'm going to be topping up as much as I can. Not financial advice, obviously, but I can't. It's just too good an opportunity to miss. Again, if you think about it, you know, the price where it is now, how easy is that to go to go to $5? That's doubled. Saying. That seems like I'm stating the obvious, doesn't it? True though. You look for Bitcoin to double, it's got to go to $32,000. For drip to double, it's got to go to 5. And it's been there not that long ago. Several times. And it'll be there again. Again, just my opinion, but no, you're right. You know, the power of the 1% compound is just nuts. I did a video a couple of months ago where I got to 100 drip and I was over the moon because I got to 100 drip. But you know, getting from 100 to 200 was so much quicker. And then 200 to 300, 300 to 400. I know I've DCA'd a little bit here and there, but you know, it's starting to go up that much quicker. Sorry, I was put off there by the same flipping song again. It's all right. Where are we? So we're 1 minute away, so we're waiting for the AMA to start. You haven't got to listen to me waffling. Excuse me. Still got a bit of COVID, as I said. I'm gutted I'm missing the game tonight. I really am. Absolutely gutted. Hate missing Wolves games. So again, just before the AMA starts, remember I'm doing a giveaway. So when I get to 500 subscribers, I'll be giving 3 drip away to somebody. To enter, all you've got to do is in the chat, just put !raffle and you'll be entered. And you've got to be a subscriber, obviously. If you can't be bothered to press subscribe, then I'm not going to give you free drip, am I? So, but yeah, just hit that subscribe button. Then it's and raffle, and you'll be entered. And then there'll be 3 drip giveaway. So I'm going to turn the music off because it looks like we might be getting underway. Check.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I was just looking at an announcement or like a news release that I guess Sam Bankman.
Let me know if you can hear okay.
Basically a backdoor in his accounting software that allowed him to move billions of dollars without ever triggering any flags internally in the company. And this is just really displaying the importance of open source DeFi. And of course, it's going to be spun to some degree about the dangers of crypto and the volatility and all this stuff. But really, more than anything, this is an example of why DeFi is so important and why you should not trust closed source centralized products that have no transparency and no accountability. And in this case, there may be some accountability in the fact that, Sam might go to prison, but that doesn't mean you're going to get your money back. And I think to the average user, real accountability means that it never gets this far because it would be exposed as soon as that backdoor was implemented, or the moment that one of these contracts was published with a backdoor. But that doesn't happen in centralized closed source businesses, projects, platforms, whatever you want to call this. And more than anything, I think that this is great for DeFi in the long run, but obviously it's causing volatility in the short term. But great for open source and DeFi in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think there's like really 2 ways to see it. I think initially, it adds some fear to crypto, and you shared about volatility, but I absolutely agree. I think long term, if you kind of look at the sub narrative, it's this idea that really the problem is that it's centralized, that we really need decentralized solutions. And so I absolutely agree. I think long term, it's just pointing to the big problem that crypto DeFi is trying to address.
Yeah, exactly. And now there's a ton of talk about regulation, but of course, regulation would not. We've seen the head of the SEC run the world's largest Ponzi scheme. It's regulation only really gatekeeps certain people from pulling these kinds of major frauds and thefts, but does not prevent the frauds and thefts. It just kind of consolidates it, makes it larger, makes institutions that are, quote unquote, too big to fail. So when the fraud does happen, they get bailed out by the government. And, of course, we have a lot of people calling for regulation now, but that obviously is not the answer. And I think that we need to do our best to push this narrative that regulation is not the answer, and it's open source DeFi. And we're in a great position with our projects that regulation, no regulation, we're largely untouchable. And even in the case that um, regulation does, tighten, which I expect it to, uh, we've always been very careful to not do some of the or fall for some of the stumbling blocks like guys like Do Kwon have done, and these other people, where they're taking, again, centralized control of the capital, making trading decisions on behalf of the user, and really skirting the line on securities laws. And we've always been very careful to stay away from that. So I feel like, or I know that our projects are, when it comes to regulation, the furthest from that gray area that you can be in crypto and DeFi. And then on top of that, we're hardened against any one attack vector that could take the project down. In the case that they just come after all of DeFi or all of crypto altogether. So, some examples of that is we don't have registered businesses or companies, corporations anywhere, like especially not in the U.S., but we don't have them anywhere. We don't have any docs, centralized figures that people could go after. We don't have any kind of on ramps that could be attacked. We're in the process of setting up a fiat on ramp, but the fiat on ramp is utilizing uh, again on-chain contracts to handle it. And really, like, worst case scenario in our platform is they go after the fiat on ramp, so we lose a fiat on ramp and we're still operating to full capacity. We can replace the fiat on ramp. So it's we're hardened against these kinds of attack vectors, because I've known this is going to come since before 2012. I got involved in Bitcoin and creating Bitcoin on ramps in 2012. The first thing I did was my first entry into the space as someone that's developing was building a Bitcoin on ramp for a sports book in 2012. But even before that, I was very standoffish when it comes to putting personal information online. I never have had a personal Facebook. When I was in high school, Facebook was very popular. I just never created one. I never and still don't have any personal social medias out there because I just knew that this tech would be a double-edged sword. It would create great freedom, but also be a tool of tracking and a tool of oppression, in a sense. And I've been cognizant of that from day one, and I've always used these tools in a way where we're getting the most out of them without putting ourselves out there, on the line for attacks in this way. So people that are running true DeFi projects and people that have stuck to the the code or the integrity of open source DeFi are going to thrive over the next couple of years. And these projects that are trying to run like centralized businesses, and especially the people that come in here from traditional finance and try to run their crypto project as if it's a hedge fund or some traditional casino or something like that, they're going to be taken out by regulation. And in many cases, they're going to be taken out by their own founders and developers who are doing things exactly like Sam just did. Are you muted?
Hey, there you go. Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And yeah, I wish I spent less time on Facebook and more time investing in Bitcoin back in the day. I
Yeah.
think from I think from what you've shared, I think that's a beautiful transition into getting this started. I want to be respectful of your time. I figured I'd start the recording, and then maybe just I think the things that you're saying right now are just absolutely so important for us to hear, and actually incredibly bullish for Animal Farm. So, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and so
Bullet
let's
for
go
all
ahead.
of DeFi that are doing it correctly. But yeah, especially
Abs-
Animal Farm, of course, because we are doing it correctly.
All right, let me just start the recording here.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you would probably have questions that you prepared, but I kind of wanted to speak to that. I wanted to get a chance to do that before we got into the questions. So thank you for that.
No, yeah, I have questions. I figured I'd ask you some questions that I had gathered from people in preparation for the AMA, and then
Yeah.
kind of allow you to take it wherever you wanted to take it, and then maybe open the floor up for questions later.
Sure.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are listening from. Thank you for being here. We are joined by none other than Forex Shark. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for
So,
having me. I appreciate it.
yeah. So, Forex, before we even started recording, you were kind of sharing about kind of your thoughts about the current market sentiment, everything that's happening with FTX. I think that's something. I know that you're a veteran trader. You're saying that on Bybit you're like one of the highest ranking traders. You've been in crypto for a long time, so I know that for many of us, whether that's just investors in Drip or Animal Farm or just investors, would love to hear what your thoughts are about the current market sentiment, how that's affects Animal Farm and Drip, and how ultimately you think that that's bullish for DeFi in general.
Yeah, so you're correct. Right now, I'm ranked number 2 overall on Bybit as far as trading performance, and over the past couple weeks. So if you look at my ranking overall on Bybit as far as how they track their performance, I'm number 2, and then over the past couple weeks, I've been ranked number 1 over the weekly time frame, and that is largely due to the strategies I utilize in the market, and it speaks to some of the issues in the market that we're seeing right now. So, not to go deep into my trading strategy, but my trading strategy is built around institutions trading against their client order flow. And these institutions have very large positions that they need to take in order to trade against their client order flow. So they cannot get all in and all out of their position. It would move the market too much if they were to do it like a traditional market order, obviously, which they don't. Or it would there's not enough liquidity on the books to enter in a large limit order. So they do it over time, and they use a specific set of algorithms to enter into these positions, and this creates a set of signatures that my system, which I've developed over the past 5 years, identifies and often identifies very early as soon as they start producing these signatures, and allows me to essentially front run the rest of their entries into the market as they trade against their client order flow. And utilizing the system has allowed me to become the number 2 overall highest performing trader on Bybit. So this tells you who are moving the markets, and uh, why 95% of users who trade on these leverage exchanges lose their capital, and just the kind of dirtiness of the space when it comes to these centralized exchanges. Now, the Overall market, just to speak, my trading system is not focused on macro anything really. I do take some macro positions, but my day-to-day trading strategy is based on shorter term moves. However, I do have a macro outlook on the market, and that would uh, generally be uh, when Bitcoin has done a 80% or greater correction, because I believe in the fundamentals of the technology, and I believe that it is providing a significant utility, I'm interested in buying essentially anything under 19,000, 18,000. So I made a significant entry at 17,000 when we got down there the first time. I'm interested in DCAing in, dollar cost averaging in, to the market in general, BNB, Ethereum, Bitcoin. And I'm doing this because I believe in the tech. Uh, the way I see it is potentially we could even do a 50% correction from here, which would be effectively a 90% correction in Bitcoin, and uh, maybe the plus 90% in BNB and ETH. But because I took significant profit near the top, and I could tell you how I determined where the top would be within a few days, and I made this public. I've been talking about where I thought the next top would be for years. Since Bitcoin was at $4,000, I was talking about 60K would likely be the new top, and because I took significant capital off the table in that time frame. I'm okay with starting to enter back in under 20,000, for me specifically under like the $18,000 mark, and I can eat a 50% correction from here even because I'm not over leveraged. I'm going to be adding to my position the whole way down, and I know the potential upside. I know the fundamentals of the technology, and I know where we can go and where we're highly probable to go from here. And that is, a significant move up. That's, uh, you know, tens of multiples higher in Bitcoin, and even more so in BNB and Ethereum. So I think that now is the time to be entering into these strong projects with strong fundamentals, not all in, right? DCA in, be responsible, keep your risk under control, and be a long term holder, right? Uh, I have a very specific system when it comes to short-term trading that I've developed over many years. This is what I do: is develop systems, whether it's developing DeFi game theory and logic, or it's developing systems to take advantage of specific market dynamics in trading. But as I said earlier, the vast majority of short-term traders, especially short-term leverage traders, lose money. So I never suggest that anybody does short-term trading. I never suggest that anybody does leverage trading in the sense of utilizing leverage on these centralized exchanges. And what I suggest, not trading advice, but what I do, right? And what I suggest to my family and friends and family kind of thing is that they get into projects and platforms with strong fundamentals, strong roadmaps, strong utility, and they become longer term holders. And that's what I'm doing, in the sense that I'm getting into Bitcoin, BNB, Ethereum as a long term holder, dollar cost averaging. I could talk about the way that I don't like to say predicted, right? But because no one knows what's going to happen in the markets, in the sense that you're predicting kind of thing. But I saw that there was a high probability that 60K would be the next top, just based on the fact that when we look at trends in Bitcoin, all of the previous all-time highs were at least 3 times the previous all-time highs, and uh, the previous all-time high before 60K was 20K. So to me, when I added significant capital to my long-term Bitcoin position at 4,000, it was with the vision that I would be taking profit at 60K. And you can go back and see posts in my Discord channel from 2018, 2019, 2020, saying that the next all-time high was likely going to be 60K. And I kept that position all the way up until we hit 60K, and then I started offloading it significantly. I always like to keep some percentage of my capital in the market and in these assets, because you never know. As I said previously, at least 3x. But of course, we saw much greater than that in the early days of the run-ups of Bitcoin. So I kept about 20% of my position in, and I liquidated almost all of the rest into stables. I used it to get into some DeFi projects. I had some pretty good strategies early on, automated strategies to get into DeFi projects in like 2020, 2021. Some of the major projects that are still around to this day, like Urine Finance and AVAX, and these projects, getting into them as like one of the first 10 people to buy into them and hold them long term. So that's what I used a lot of my capital that I took out of Bitcoin to do. And also a lot of it just sat on the sidelines until right now, effectively, the first time we cracked below 20K, I started buying up positions, and I bought one significant position around 19K. I loaded up again around 17,500, and now just a couple days ago, I took another rather large position. I bought about $3 million worth of Bitcoin, BNB, and ETH, and I still have a lot of capital that I'm keeping on the sidelines, just because I want that dry powder if we do go lower. And if we go lower, great. I'm excited about that because I have dry powder to take advantage of that. And if we don't go lower, I'm cool with that too, because I have a significant position, and I'll buy on the way up. I'll buy corrections on the way up. And dollar cost averaging is important for this reason, because you're never going to pick the absolute bottom and the absolute top. You may you may do it once, you may do it twice, but that's no trading strategy, right? That's getting lucky. So for day-to-day swing trading kind of thing, I'm someone that doesn't do this long-term chipping away DCA strategy. I'm more someone that does 50% in and then buy the other 50% if I get a opportunity. When I say 50% in, I'm not talking about 50% of my capital. I'm talking about 50% of my allowed risk exposure. So 50% in at my first signal to enter, and then potentially add to that one time, and then when it's my signal to exit, I'm just fully out. That's my short-term trading position. My long-term trading position, I'm looking at entering at about 20% of my risk exposure at a time. So ideally, I'm entering into a full position over about 5 entries until I have my full allowed risk exposure in a long-term position. And I'm not doing it like, say, Bitcoin hits 17,000, I'm entering, and then Bitcoin hits 16,900, I'm entering. I want to see significant moves and a significant reason for me to be entering at these additional prices. So that's just my overall look on the market. I think it's a good time to be entering. It's DCA in, manage your risk. And then to speak about our projects specifically, I'm not someone who buys my own projects, and there's just a very strong reason for this, and that is um, I know when we're going to be announcing partners. I know um, when we're going to be launching a new product. I know when I'm going to come on and do some kind of buyback or some kind of injection. And because I have this inside information, I decide not to do day-to-day trading of my projects. But I do, um, I do, I don't want to say that uh, I never tell other people what to do with their money, but in my opinion, getting into strong projects like Animal Farm and and like Drip, these projects that have utility, that have a track record, that have a roadmap, that have a strong development team, are absolutely the kind of DeFi projects that you want to get in when we're in these market conditions. And for Animal Farm, the way that I have my exposure to it, basically the way that I have my position in it, is through the founder staker contract. So um, essentially, the governance tokens, which are utilized to earn a percentage of all the profit generated from the platform, whether through taxes associated with the reward token, deposits, withdrawals, back-end lending to PancakeSwap. These governance tokens, uh, I have a position in these governance tokens, which is a locked position, which means I can never sell these tokens on the market. And I can never add these tokens to the circulating supply. But uh, they're locked in our governance staking contract, which allows me to earn a percentage of the profit generated from the platform. So this is how I have my exposure to Animal Farm. And I'm able to do this in Animal Farm and not in my other projects because Animal Farm pays out its profit in the form of BNB and BUSD, which means I can collect my profit as a part owner of Animal Farm, just like everybody else who's staked in the governance contract um, in the form of BUSD. So there's no selling of our native assets to realize this profit, and that's a beautiful thing because it allows me to benefit like everybody else in the system. It really aligns incentives in a perfect way, but not in a way where I have any kind of advantage over anybody else because I have this insider information and I'm using it to trade our assets. So this is one of the reasons why I love Animal Farm so much because it allows me to benefit as a participant in a way that I'm not able to do in any of the other projects that I've developed. And the uh, Animal Farm has one of the strongest fundamental utilities that you can have in all of finance. So I believe that Animal Farm is speaking directly to the issues that we see right now in the market with this centralized control, with the demand for lending. But as we see, all of these platforms which have blown up over the past couple months that are doing lending, which are clearly the highest demand platforms in DeFi, they blew up because they did it in a custodial, closed source, and centralized way. And when you have a custodial, closed source, centralized lending platform, uh, it creates an environment that is ripe for misallocation and fraud, effectively. And not just in crypto, but in all of finance. And Animal Farm speaks to this demand, allows for yield to be generated through lending in a way that's fully open source, that's fully non-custodial, and that is completely decentralized. So not just decentralized in the way that some other projects are decentralized, in the sense that everybody's holding their own keys and everybody is calling their own functions in the contracts. We have that, right? But we're another level of decentralized in the sense that even uh, the ownership of the platform. So where the fees that are traditionally going to developers and founders, even that has been decentralized in a way like no project have ever done, where the stakers of the governance token, who are the participants of the platform, are earning and making decisions as the owners of the platform. So we are meeting the current demand. We are solving the current issues in the market that we see that are just wrecking people every day, causing these, this major volatility in the market. We're solving these issues, and at the same time, doing it in a way that's completely innovative, that is, that has this first mover advantage and this major community behind it. So I don't think there's a better project in the world right now, traditional finance or DeFi, that people can get involved in. And of course, you can get involved with that by either getting on and buying the governance token outright, or buying the reward token outright, or utilizing some capital that you have that you're just kind of sitting on, and um, adding it as collateral to our platform, to one of our farms or pools, and allowing it to be lent to PancakeSwap, where you're going to earn yield both in our reward token and BUSD. And then the reward token that you're earning yield in, you can decide to either utilize it to earn BNB in the platform, or utilize it to earn a governance asset in the platform, which is how you capture that BUSD that's being generated through lending, or do all three through the auto compounding reward contract. So it's the auto compounding contract that allows you to both earn BNB while compounding your position into the farm, which is allowing you to generate the governance asset. So it's called the auto dog pound. And I know I just kind of went off there, but I think some of the things I said were important to speak to, because it all ties together. So I probably answered a couple of your questions there, but I wanted to knock it out.
No, thank you, Forex Shark, and just such great wisdom. Thank you for sharing about not just about Animal Farm, but just in terms of risk, in terms of being an investor. I just think there's so much to learn from people who have been in the space, and learn especially from people who have done well. So thank you for sharing your insights on the market. Yeah, and I absolutely love the dog pound, the auto compounding dog pound. It's almost like a set it and forget it. And I even for many of our listeners that don't know, the Animal Farm, even the name itself is kind of indicative of the ethos, or kind of like the purpose of the Animal Farm. It's based off of, I think, a fable by some English author named George Orwell. Basically, long story short, the animals that are being misused um, revolt against the farm owner, and kind of symbolically, we are these animals, putting the farm, putting back ownership into the hands of the investors, and that's definitely something that the Animal Farm seeks to do. So with that being said, I know, Forex, that in your last AMA you had talked about linking up with a professional marketer who had connections to fintech. I know that there was a follow-up meeting. How did that meeting go? Any updates from that perspective, and what doors do you think that this is going to help open up for us?
Yeah, that meeting went great. So we're making two moves from a marketing perspective. One of them was bringing on an additional marketing advisor who has worked with some of the top projects in DeFi and also crypto in general. So he worked on a couple unicorn companies that were crypto related, major P2P Bitcoin exchanges, and also a platform that is relative to institutional lending of crypto assets, but way early on before uh, a lot of these other platforms got involved with that. So kind of the early days of getting some of these institutions into Bitcoin, and he uh, so what I was looking for through bringing him on was adding an additional level of professionalism to our marketing strategy. Um, right now, the way it's being run essentially is we have one person who is acting as basically an intermediate between me and different marketing platforms that we want to utilize, and um, it's gone well, right? He's I don't want to speak to I don't want to speak to individual team members' performance, but I think there's room for improvement, basically, and bringing on someone that has a lot of experience running marketing at a high-end corporate level is really what we need. We need someone that's going to get on, that's going to be holding the marketing team accountable, that's going to be uh, really tracking the budget as efficiently as possible, that has a more professional way of outreaching to some of these platforms that we want to market with, and just altogether the basic marketing management. I thought could use improvement, and we already made steps to improve it, but it just wasn't to the level that we need, and wasn't to the level that makes sense relative to our marketing budget, because we have a significant marketing budget, and I really want to put it to use. And I obviously, if I just wanted to put it to use, right, we could spend the money, but I'm not looking to just spend the money. I want to spend the money as efficiently as possible, and uh, we uh, we made progress there, but there's serious room for improvement. And bringing on someone that has worked at the top level. So the person we brought on initially has experience running a an affiliate marketing firm. He had not worked in crypto before, but he had experience working in affiliate marketing. He had a small firm, and he knew more about social media marketing than I did. So we brought him on, and he's helped with that, right? But the person that we're bringing on as an advisor has experience running marketing management at a high corporate level, and his experience is in major crypto related funds and companies. So it's just a perfect fit for us, and I knew that he was working for another platform, or actually, it's a company, and he was going to be available soon. So I kind of just watched the situation unfold, and as soon as I saw that he was available, I reached out, told him what we were doing. He was already aware of what we were doing, and told him that we were interested in having a meeting with him to discuss what we're looking for. Maybe he could provide that. We had the meeting. He was interested. He thought he could provide value for us, and that was I believe on last Monday or last Tuesday, and we had a follow-up meeting for Friday, yesterday. And what we asked for in the follow-up meeting was for him to just basically give us a outline of exactly what he could provide and what his vision for marketing would be for our ecosystem as a whole, not just Animal Farm. And he wrote out like a 5 or 6 page outline of exactly what his vision and what he could do for us. It was very professional. It made a lot of sense to us, and we agreed that we would give it a shot. And an important part about it is the payment structure is purely performance based. So if he isn't bringing on additional capital to the platform, he isn't getting paid, and that's the way it's going to go. So, so it's the most optimal payment structure that we could have, because he's not like some of these firms that just have a suite of services that they can provide, and their incentive is to sell you as many services. That's not what he does. He doesn't have a suite of services or different products that you can buy. His role is strictly management, and that's what we need. So actually, our project manager, I believe, is having a meeting with him right now. We had that follow-up meeting on Friday, and we're going to look to make some progress starting next week. We have a meeting on Monday to really start going over the books as far as what we have planned already in the future, what our budget is looking like, what our spending is looked like, the performance that we've had from these different vehicles, and starting to build the calendar moving forward. And my ideal vision, not to leak too much because I don't want to give competitors good ideas, basically, but I want to be doing 2 interviews a week, right? So that's going to include our weekly AMA on Thursday, and I want to see at least one other interview on top of that outside of our community. I want to have at least one banner ad going up at all times, like at least one solid banner ad up at all times. I want to have a steady stream of influencers on various social medias, independently making promotion. And I want to have like more traditional paid promotion on all of these social medias. And then, of course, on top of this, specific targeted marketing based on specific actions that we're taking. But I have a pretty good idea on how I want to run our marketing, and that's what we're gonna put more focus on starting next week, about just locking in these scheduling. And this is already the vision that I've had this vision for the past, you could say, year, maybe longer than that, but not this specific vision, but this vision of wanting to do greater marketing for a long time. I would say this specific vision for like the past 8 months. But as a lot of people know, this was a 2-man operation just like 8 months ago. And I've been building my team over the past 8 months in a significant way. So my partner that I built Drip with, he kind of broke off. He got a bit burnt out, right? Because I never stop, right? Just going, and not everybody wants to work like that. So he got a bit burnt out, and I was pretty much left running the whole thing myself, starting about 8 months ago. And that's when I really put my focus on team building, and I brought on initially someone that had been a great part and a great help in the community for a long time, had really helped me. He's the first moderator I had on Discord, Stonecutter, and he's a good friend of mine and someone that is an amazing help and an amazing administrator and moderator in our platform. But he doesn't have specific experience in managing projects. But I needed someone immediately to fill in that role. So he came in and filled the role until we could find someone that has experience in project management. And about 2.5 months ago, something like that, we found a very solid project manager that has experience in project management from a technical engineering perspective, and has worked with some of the largest entertainment companies, running their management, their project management from an engineering and technical perspective, and he's been amazing for us. He really helped me on board some of the other team members, and he's helped us establish the fiat on ramp, which is something that we got approved for recently, which will be putting in place over the next couple of weeks. And he really has helped structure communication and just make everything a lot more organized and professional. And we also brought on 2 additional developers who were who built Scratchy for me, which is another project which will be launching like Q1 of next year. And I brought them on to take the development role, to fill the development role that was lacking now that my previous partner had kind of left. And they came with a designer and also someone that does testing and auditing. So we added about 4 full-time designers, developers, front end, React, back end, and quality control, all kind of at the same time. Through them, I brought on someone to operate as I don't want to use the term CMO anymore because we're not a company, we're not a centralized business or anything like that, but I just kind of used that terminology in the past to express that this is someone that's in charge of marketing. But let's just say we brought someone on to help manage marketing, and he had experience running this affiliate marketing firm, not specifically in crypto, but he had experience in social media and affiliate marketing. So we brought him on, and now over the past couple weeks, we've done our we've continued to build, and now we are bringing on an advisor that specifically has a ton of experience in high-level corporate crypto projects and running them like a multi-billion-dollar organization. Which, if you look at our whole ecosystem, that's we are not centralized like a corporation, but we have the kind of capital and the kind of budgets that a major corporation would have. So we do need someone to operate our marketing in that kind of professional level. And now, to kind of wrap up what we've done from a team perspective and marketing, is a PR firm. So last week we had a meeting with a PR firm that is that has not worked with crypto at all, but is a major player, a major firm when it comes to finance and fintech. And they represent some of the largest ETFs and some of the largest funds in the world. And their main job is pushing a narrative in the mainstream mainstream media apparatus to allow these major funds to onboard capital. So an ETF establishes themselves. They want to raise capital. They want to be seen on the main stage. They go to this PR firm, and this PR firm gets them in the Wall Street Journal, gets them on Bloomberg, gets them in Fortune magazine, and someone that is a part of our DAO is a friend and someone who has worked with this firm in the past. He referred us to them. He made a connection with them, and this firm, even though they're kind of an old money, mainstream media firm, they recognize the future and they see where this is going, and they have some from the meeting I've had with them, I have one meeting with them so far. From what I see and from the meeting I have, they have experience in the sense that they have people that have been working for their firm for decades and have been working in the space and working with these major funds for the past potentially like 50, 60 years. And they have some very intelligent, clever young people as well that understand crypto, they understand the market, and they realize that this is the future, and they're helping to basically set this firm up to be able to uh, step into the future in this sense. And we're going to be the first platform, crypto related platform that they've worked with, and it's going to allow us to get placement in these major mainstream media um, vehicles, and it's going to be huge. So we had a meeting with them last week. Uh, it really was very extremely productive, and we set up another meeting for next week. And the reason why we set up a meeting for next week is because we will have our new advisor on board by then as well, and he can become a part of the conversation. And it's really going to allow us to optimize our planning moving forward. Uh, all of this together, we have a team and a plan moving forward that is a higher level than any other DeFi platform in the world. I can say that with absolute confidence, but with none of the the negative side that you see in these super top end crypto related projects, which is centralization, which is closed source, black box, taking custody of user funds, charging high fees, the stuff that you see in centralized businesses. Because typically what happens is these centralized companies are the ones that are able to build up the largest amount of capital to really utilize build the largest teams, take advantage of the most marketing, all of these things. But Animal Farm, because of the way that we've structured it, and because of our long track record and our performance in the DeFi market over the past couple of years, we're able to play on the same level as them. And we're the only project that can play at that level while still being non-custodial, fully open source, and provide the kind of utility we provide. So I'm super bullish on everything we have moving forward. And it's just growth and up from here. And even from a game theory perspective, there's so many aspects of the game theory of Animal Farm that don't really come into play until a couple months after launch, especially regarding like dividend generation and things like that. So we're only going to get stronger, and we're only going to build from here. And it's very exciting. It's very bullish.
That is very exciting, and I think that's so important. It's important not just to have marketing funds, but to use that marketing fund thoughtfully and for the most yield. So we appreciate for doing that. And it sounds like one of the benefits of very decentralized, these big 500 companies is that they are very professional, very structured, systematic. And it sounds like when you look, and that was one of the questions of one of the people, one of the members here was, what do you look for in this team that you're building? And it sounds like you've already answered that essentially, which is you're looking for people who have proven track records, who have experience, and who have professionalism. And because we're trying to bring that to the Animal Farm, we're trying to bring that experience, bring those results, bring that professionalism in a way that's going to help Animal Farm to really soar. So that's
Yeah,
really, really
absolutely.
exciting.
And
So
integrity too. I look for
yeah,
integrity and reliability, right? It's so like if there's a lot of people that are very skilled, but do they show up to meetings? Are they reliable? Do they have integrity? So there's a lot that makes someone eligible to be a good team member. And we're having, I get thousands of DMs every day. Some portion of them are people looking to join the team and are looking for work. And over the past I don't know, I've been working in the space since 2012, and we have I would say 4 team members, and maybe you could say like 7 if you're counting like loose team members. So that tells you a bit about our process. We are not we're very careful about how we bring in who we bring into the fold, and even people that we bring into the fold, there's a level of isolation there where things still have to there's a level of checks and balances, and we're not ever delegating the most important stuff, right? The most important stuff is being handled in a way where we're either doing it through the governance system, where it's a voting process, and it's fully based on first the community, and then it gets filtered from the community decision making to the governance, which allows the people with the most stake in the platform to make that final decision, or it's being filtered through a development team, auditors, quality control, and myself as the one that basically came up with a large amount of the game theory of the project. So the goal for the future is to continue to decentralize this decision making, and our governance voting system with the Pigpen is the next major step in that direction.
Great. That kind of transitions to my next question. You kind of mentioned about 2 things. One is the fiat on ramp. I know that there was, you were going to have a meeting, I think, with the partner that you were going to work that was going to collaborate to help you with that. And I know that there was concerns perhaps about how to circumvent the tax, whether with drip. I know that there's a thoughtfulness in terms of the order of the on ramping. I know you're going to do like drip, then dogs, then pigs. But I know that there was some concern about one, the tax with drip, but then also the 90% tax with dogs when they move from like the fiat on ramp to the user. And how's that going?
Well, that's going great. So we already know that we can do it. We already know that there's no issue with the tax when it comes to having a fiat on ramp, because we can whitelist specific contracts from the tax to ensure that the tax that is supposed to be applied is applied and no additional taxes are applied. But we have a meeting coming up next week just to talk about some of the details. So we already got approved. We know that the steps to get listed are easy for us. It's basically just adding a specific amount of capital to the B&B pool, which we already have for dogs, which we can do for pigs and drip very easily, and paying about $25,000 per listing, which is also something that we can handle easily. The meeting that I have is just to discuss some of the details, just so I have them from a communicator standpoint. So what their exact process is, if there's KYC involved for the user, when that KYC comes into play, whether it's something that always needs to be done, or only needs to be done over a certain amount of capital, or maybe it doesn't need to be done at all and it's just treated as buying any other asset online. These are just the small details that I want to be able to ask the team. And I have this meeting with them coming up next week, and then it only takes 2 weeks, they say, from the point that the payment is made until the listing is live. So that's why I've been saying that I've been saying since last week that it should take about 3 weeks, because I have this meeting with them next week just to discuss the details, just so I can be a better communicator when we talk about how we're how people can utilize it, and also how we can add the API to our site. And then we'll make the payment next week, and then it should take about 2 weeks to implement. And the only reason why we're doing it in the order that we're doing it in and not all at once is because we're doing it in a decentralized way. So there are options, and there are options where we can basically have contracts established with them. And when I'm talking about contracts, I'm not talking about solidity contracts. I'm talking about like legal contracts, and where we have certain uh, guaranteed commitments when it comes to their listing. But this would require centralization. This would require us establishing a company and hiring lawyers and having people be signers and all this stuff. Or we can go the decentralized route, but there's less guarantees in that sense. So to protect um, our own incentives, to protect our capital in a sense, we're doing it in a way where we pay to have one listed, it gets listed, and then we move on to the next one like that. So we're not giving some large lump sum and then just waiting for them to do all of the work. Because once it's added, there's no incentive for them to remove it. They're earning fees from having a token that people are onboarding through fiat. So once they've done the work, there's no incentive for them to remove that listing. So this is why I'm not worried about a guarantee from that perspective. I just don't want to give a ton of money up front, almost $100,000, and then wait for them to do the work, and then have there be delays and all of this stuff. Having it done in a kind of step-by-step way ensures that there's a level of accountability there. There's an incentive for them to actually do the work so they can move on to the next one. And then once that work's done, then they have no incentive to remove it because they're making money off of it. So this is why we're doing it in this way. There's, a master plan behind everything. We never just wing anything. So it's everybody wants everything to move as fast as possible, and we do move things as fast as possible, but we never do anything reckless. Everything is measured, and we do that for a reason. And there's a reason why we've never lost investor capital. We've never had a major exploit. We've never had any kind of insider shenanigans. We've always been very, very careful about the moves that we make, and this is how we're always going to run things, because security is most important and managing risk is most important. And this is one of the reasons why I'm one of the top traders in the world. Like on Bybit, I am the #2 overall trader in the world. And if you look into it, their #1 isn't even an individual trader. I don't know what it is. When you look into it, and you start looking at their profile and all that, it says on there, this is not an individual trader, and some of their trades are hidden. And so it's, who knows, right? But I'm at like officially the #2 trader on Bybit out of 54 million traders on Bybit. And the reason for this, first and foremost, is because I take risk management and securing the bag more first and foremost, and more important than anything, more important than profit, more important than getting my place on the leaderboard, or hitting big numbers or trading more capital. The risk management is #1 always. I've always felt that way, and that's how I handle my DeFi projects as well. And that's why, maybe we don't move as fast as some other projects. I mean, you can compare us. We're moving. Uh, we're getting things done, right? But always with risk management and security being #1. And that's the same with this fiat on-ramp situation.
Yeah, thank you. I think that is really important. Security, risk management. God knows we don't need any more shenanigans in the crypto space. So thank you for your methodical approach to, progressing the project forward. I know that you talked about this already, but how is the governance voting system going? How's that going?
It's going great. So we wanted to make some improvements to the UI, and also um, whenever you have a new project, you always have a ton of people who who are having user errors and don't understand how things work and have questions. So um, my back end dev who is implementing the governance system, um, I've he's been a bit distracted from that just because he's been helping the front end dev not only make some of the improvements and just adding some of the additional value to the front end that we wanted to add, but also fielding hundreds of or maybe not hundreds but dozens of transactions and people saying, "Hey, I did this. Why is this happening? Why is this happening?" And uh, it's expected in a new project. For example, let me just give one example of what's happening. The auto compounding contract. The way that it works is you deposit onto the auto compounding contract. You deposit dog token, the AFD token. Now, when you deposit into the auto dog pound, it starts earning BNB immediately. But this BNB is being used to buy dogs, AFD, and pairing it to make BNB dogs LP tokens. And these LP tokens are sitting on the contract, and once a day, so once every 24 hours, those LPs are deposited into the dog's B&B farm, and then that position is allocated to the users in the dog pound who have been in the dog pound over the past 24 hours. So what that means is you have to be in the dog pound for greater than 24 hours before you're allocated any LP tokens. And this is for security reasons. This is to ensure that people cannot jump into the dog pound right before the compounding happens and get rewarded as if they were in there for the full day. So you don't want people jumping in and out, in and out, in and out right before this compounding happens. So because of that, we have a 24-hour vesting period. So you have to be in there for 24 hours before you can withdraw. And you have to be in there for over 24 hours before rewards are allocated to you. And this is a security feature. Now, after those LPs have been in the farm and allocated to you for 24 hours, now the pigs that have been generated from them are allocated to you. So what this means is you don't see any LP earnings for 24 to 48 hours. And then you don't see any pig earnings for 24 hours after that. And it's based on the LPs that were allocated to you. It's less than 48 hours before you see the LPs. It's going to be around 24 hours, but it really depends what time of the day that you do the deposit. But it's going to be it's at least 24 hours, but less than 48 hours before you get allocated LPs. And 24 hours after you get allocated those LPs, then you start seeing pigs. So because of this, people are depositing and then wondering, 10 minutes later, why am I not earning anything? Well, like, what's going on? Why am I not earning LPs? And then they reach out to me, and they reach out to one of our admins, or they reach out to somebody, and we take all like issue requests, you could call them, seriously. And often what happens is they get forwarded to my backend dev. He looks at it. He looks at the transactions. He sees, okay, they've only been in there for a couple hours. This is why. And then we have one of the admins get back to that person. This is an issue that won't be that we will not be dealing with in a couple of weeks. And also we can work on through the messaging on the site, which is why we've been focusing on front end and dealing with these customer service kind of issues. And it's been taking a lot of the dev team's time. But and let me just speak to one more bit of confusion here. So people, those LPs that you're earning get added to the farm on your behalf. It's auto compounding. It's taking the LPs that you're earning and it's compounding them into your farm position. Now, some people, for whatever reason, thought that auto compounding means it's compounding your BNB that you're earning into LPs, but then you have to withdraw the LPs to stake them in the farm. That's not happening. It's doing it on your behalf. So people that were doing this, because you have to be in there for 24 hours to earn LPs, and you have to have those LPs in there for a 24-hour period before you start earning pigs. People were who thought that they had to withdraw their LPs and deposit them in the farm manually for whatever reason, kept withdrawing and then wondering, why am I not earning? Why am I not earning pigs in the dog pound? Why is my position, why is it not working correctly? So this is another thing that has just taken up a bunch of the dev team's time fielding these questions of people thinking they're not earning due to user error. But everybody who has deposited into the auto dog pound and just allowed their position to work, continuing to add to their position if they want, or just letting it sit and do its thing, has been working flawlessly. So the one thing that I can say that we did have to make an optimization to was that the animal farm pigs that were being earning, this is in the first couple days, were sitting on the contract for a little bit longer than they should have. So we made an update, an improvement to optimize how they're being allocated, and it's been like this for days now, where it's that's fully optimized and it's working perfectly, and everybody from that point on, from that optimization, is it's working flawlessly, and the people are earning at a very healthy rate, and everybody who is just allowing it to work for them and is not trying to manually withdraw the LPs and move them and doing all of this weird stuff that you don't need to do are earning very, very well in the animal farm and in the auto dog pound specifically. So, this is just I'm just kind of telling you some stuff that's happening behind the scenes, where I asked the backend dev, okay, the next thing I want you to do is implement the governance API, and he's been working on that, but also fielding all of these requests and helping the front end dev implement some tweaks as well. So it's going great, but we're just making sure that we're prioritizing everything, right? So in the next couple of weeks, these requests to check out why is this happening, why is that happening, are going to die down, because the community will be more educated. The community will be able to field these questions more effectively. We can get our messaging a little bit better on the site. The auto dog pound has been optimized, so now there's no question about its its functionality and what you're able to earn in it. So that's going to free up the developers and myself to be able to continue to release some of these products. But the governance system will be the next to be added, and it could potentially be added this weekend or early next weekend. I need to get into a meeting with my devs and just basically have them commit to a deadline. But it's only a couple days worth of work, and they just need to not be distracted from these other things that I just mentioned, which should not be an issue because now we've looked at enough of these requests to see every scenario many times, and we know that if there is some kind of question, 99.9% probability that some kind of user error. So we'll still have admins look at them, and I'll look at them occasionally if it's something that's clearly outstanding. But we don't have to be spending so much time moving forward fielding all of these customer service issues. So getting the governance done over the next few days is very likely to happen. Also, my two main devs right now are graduate students who just had to do midterms. So it's kind of everything all at once. We launched the project and they had midterms due at the same time. So they just finished their midterms a couple of days ago as well. So that frees up a lot more time for them. So what we're going to do, the next meeting that we have coming up, which is I have to check my schedule, the next dev meeting, but I think it's Sunday or Monday, is just lay out what we're going to do moving forward now that Animal Farm is launched and the main UI things are out of the way, and we've fielded a lot of the customer service requests, and we're very confident that everything's working and functional and optimized. And then I will get a commitment from them on what we want them to do moving forward, set deadlines on it. We do active management, so or agile management. So we'll get a commitment from them on, and this isn't including the governance thing. The governance thing will be done over the next few days, but likely the dogs roulette will be the next thing that we're going to push. So I'll have a deadline and like a agile management roadmap on when that will be done. I won't actually make an announcement on like when our launch deadline is until 100% of the work is done, but we'll have them working on it at least, so I'll have an idea on when it will be done. And the goal is to get out the next two things by the end of the year, at least two other major products for Animal Farm out by the end of the year, and then raise capital for Scratchy either at the end of December or Q1 of next year. And right now, I'm also in the process of trying to hire more developers because there are so many things that I want to build. I have so many ideas that are just going to really, really add extreme utility and fill a lot of demand in the market and have very strong market fit. And really, it's just a matter of us having this development, power and resources and adding more to our development team. But we have a very strong, committed 4-man dev team right now, 5-man if you include me. And that's going to allow us to steadily be able to put out new products every couple months. But there's so much I want to do, and on multiple platforms. So we are working right now on bringing on additional developers as well. So, if you are a skilled developer with a strong resume, hit up Original BP and we'll check you out. But what we're doing right now is kind of looking more towards a traditional hiring method, going at some of these headhunter firms that will find skilled employees for you, and not going so much the approach of looking for developers on Discord and Telegram, but kind of more going the professional, traditional route, just because I think we'll have better luck that way. But anyways, the things that we have lined out will be deployed, and we do have a very strong dev team that are pushing these things out. But that's just where we are right now. I wanted to give some background, so I don't want to just say this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I'd rather give information about what's going on behind the scenes so people can make more informed decisions.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. You heard it here first. If you are a dev with proven track record and results, feel free to reach out to Original BP, and shout out to the 2 devs who had their midterms. Thanks for doing what you guys do.
Yeah.
So FOREX, I don't know. Do you want to I have some member questions. We can open the floor up. What are your thoughts? Or did you have something else you wanted to share as well?
No, feel free. If you have member questions, source them. And I'm open. I'm open to really any question. I just don't know how you're going to handle it. I don't want anybody coming on here and shilling some other project, or so we try to keep it controlled when we're talking to such a large audience. But I'm open to any question. So if you want to field the question, and literally I'm open to any question. But I don't know how you want to do it, but I prefer if they can write it to you and then you can relay it, rather than just letting anybody come on here and speak, because I don't want. Yeah, it can turn into it can get off the rails really quickly if you just let anybody come on and speak. So.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And so, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm open to any question, literally any question. I just,
No, I appreciate that. And yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that we should be focused, and that's why I have, I've vetted some of these questions already. So I won't ask anything from the chat. I'll just ask these pre-vetted questions.
No. You can ask whatever you want from the chat. I'm just saying, I prefer that we don't give a platform for just some random person to come on here and talk to everybody. But as far as like questions from your chat, anyone that you feel is appropriate, you can ask. I'm open to anything.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get your question, if you have a burning question or anything like that, do keep in mind they are going to be doing weekly AMAs. So you can feel free to DM me, or and then I can, we can send those questions out in the future. But yeah, the first question I have here is from Peyton Miller. She's asking, how would you recommend investors leverage the drip/animal farm ecosystem during the current market sentiment? And then how would you recommend that change during the upcoming bull market? I know you kind of touched on this already, but you can answer that question.
Okay, so the way I would handle it, I'm not going to say what I would recommend to anybody else, but the way that I would handle it is that I would look to diversify into the different utilities on the platform. So, speaking to Animal Farm, I would try to optimize my capital in the Animal Farm as efficiently as possible, and I would do that by, firstly, buying some position in dog and pigs, and I would likely go more heavy on the pig side, just initially, because that's going to allow me to capture any of the yield that I'm generating through the back end lending. So I would go maybe 50-50 or 60-40 dog and pigs, buying them outright. And then I would take the dogs that I have, and I would want to use them in a way where I'm lowering my tax while earning pigs. So I think the best way to do this is to take half of those dogs, pair it with BUSD, and put it in the dog's BUSD farm, and take the other half and put it into the auto compounding dog pound. That way, I'm earning pigs outright in the dog's BUSD farm, and this way I don't need to wait for my LP position to grow. I'm earning them basically immediately, and I'm in the auto compounding dog pound, which is lowering the tax at the fastest rate that you can lower your tax on dogs. That way, I have some dogs that are having their tax reduced. So at some point in the future, if I do want to make that trade, my tax is reduced on it, and I'm increasing my position in the dog's B&B farm in a way that's compounding. So you have that exponential growth, which is very powerful. And of course, you won't be earning pigs from this stake at the same rate that you would going right into the dog's BUSD pool at first, but very shortly down the line, this will end up being your more powerful position than the dog's BUSD position. But the dog's BUSD position in the farm allows you to kind of front run and get that large growth immediately. Well, you have this other one, which is reducing your tax, but compounding and building up your position and letting you experience compound interest. Very powerful. And also earning you B&B. So that B&B that is being earned in the auto dog pound, half of it's being utilized to buy dogs and pair it into LPs. But at any point, you can decide to remove that liquidity and access that B&B that you've earned. So you're earning animal farm dogs, B&B, and pigs at the same time. And you're earning that pigs utilizing compound interest, which is extremely powerful. And then with the pigs that I bought, I would put 90% of my pigs in the pig pen. That is the low risk, long game plan way to earn your dividend in the system as efficiently as possible, while accounting for a low risk model, which is always what you want to go with the vast majority of your capital. Then I may put 10% of my pigs into the piggy bank. The piggy bank is higher risk from a volatility perspective, not from a security perspective, right? From a security perspective, everything is tight, audited, strong, time tested, quality controlled. But I'm just saying from a volatility perspective, it's a bit more volatile. So it's kind of a high risk, high reward type of model. So I would want some exposure to it because it's going to allow you to earn BUSD, and it's going to allow you to earn BUSD and pigs. But it's a bit higher risk. So I would take my pigs, 10% of my pigs, pair it with BUSD, maybe the BUSD that I'm earning in the pig pen, and throw it into the piggy bank, lock it up for a significant period of time. That way you're earning your lockup bonus, compounding it at a daily rate, because you need to compound it in the piggy bank at a daily rate to earn that bonus. And the piggy bank is a great way to earn additional pigs and additional BUSD without the platform emitting pigs. So there's no pigs added to the circulating supply in order to pay out the dividends in the piggy bank. So it's a very powerful and underutilized tool in the ecosystem. But as pigs increases in value, and as the demand for pigs increases, so will this demand for entry into the piggy bank. And I would want to have some exposure to that. So, just to recap without going into the details, I would go probably 60-40 buying dog and pigs, 60 pigs, 40 dogs. Put half the dogs into the auto dog pound, pair the other half of the dogs with BUSD, put it into the dog's BUSD farm, and then just let it sit, let it do its thing. Then with the pigs I bought, I would take 90% of the pigs, put them into the pig pen, 10% of the pigs, pair it with BUSD, throw it in the piggy bank, lock it up for a significant period of time, and be compounding every day. And that's how I would maximally take advantage of Animal Farm. Now, on top of this, you're going to want to take any kind of strong holdings that you have in one of the other major assets that we allow people to provide lending collateral to on Animal Farm and get in there. Because why just have this capital sitting in your wallet not earning any yield if you can earn yield on them in a low risk, non-custodial, open source, fully decentralized way, where your principal is always there for you to access, never locked. Even if the site went down, you could utilize the emergency withdrawal function and remove your principal and take advantage of all the utility you would get from PancakeSwap, while the better game theory and the stronger incentive structure of Animal Farm. So I would also be taking my BNB, my Link, my LP tokens are available, and putting them on Animal Farm, because that is as passive income as you can get. And now that is how I entered Animal Farm, right? And now how do I manage Animal Farm? I manage Animal Farm the same way I would manage any other dividend paying asset that I'm that I'm controlling or that I'm managing. So the way that I manage my assets and the kind of assets that I look to get into are assets that provide cash flow, whether in the form of a dividend model or rent collected, and assets that allow me to leverage them in a low risk way. So when I'm talking about leverage, I'm not talking about some centralized exchange leverage where you're putting your principal at risk to utilize this leverage in a way where there's a price correction and you lose your money. No, that's not the kind of leverage I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of leverage that is used by the ultra wealthy, where you're putting your capital to use, you're putting your assets to use in a way that doesn't risk them, that doesn't actually put the assets to loss exposure. So in this case, it's utilizing whatever assets you have, BNB, BUSD, Link, BNB LPs, stablecoin LPs, the assets that we allow lending, and leveraging them through the lending model. So you're earning yield on them while you're leveraging them by lending them to PancakeSwap to earn additional yield. And collecting this dividend, which is used to compound your position into these assets, to increase your asset holdings, to further allow you to leverage these assets and increase your dividend that you're earning on them through increasing your asset holdings. So an example of how this is done in other markets would be real estate. You have a portfolio of real estate assets. You earn cash flow on them through renting them. This cash flow can be utilized to increase your asset holdings while leveraging your asset holdings in the form of pulling equity from them. So just in real estate, one very clear way that the super wealthy utilize this is by taking their asset holdings, leveraging them by either taking out a loan against them in some kind of way, pulling equity out of them, which can be done either through a loan or several other vehicles, and utilizing this capital to increase their asset portfolio by buying more property, and then taking the cash flow that they're earning from the properties that their existing properties, and using it to both secure profit and improve and increase their asset holdings. So in real estate, that could be renovating, hiring management, or just outright buying more property. So this can also be seen, or this is also done in the stock market and an ETF. So you have a IBM stock. It's paying out 4% a year dividend. The way that this is leveraged, right, by the wealthy, is by securing profit through this dividend model, which is coming in the form of USD, and leveraging this asset holding to increase your position in IBM, or potentially diversifying into other assets. But in this case, IBM, which increases your dividend payout, which allows you to make up for whatever interest is associated with that leveraging that you're utilizing. Or that's if you're taking out a loan against them. Or you can leverage your assets by lending that capital or lending that asset, and in this case, you're earning interest on them while you're earning a dividend, and you can utilize that dividend and that interest that you're earning to increase your asset holdings. And this is how the super wealthy secure their profit, and also how they increase their portfolios. They're very rarely selling assets. When you sell assets, first of all, that's a taxable event, and we all know that if you have millions or billions of dollars, you're not paying taxes, right? The super wealthy do not pay taxes, and you don't want to be giving up your control over strong fundamental assets. There's just no reason for it. You don't want to be selling your assets, selling your control and your power to secure profit if there's another way to do it. So Animal Farm allows you to operate in the same way, and it's the first DeFi platform with strong utility that is truly decentralized, that allows you to earn in this kind of model, where you're utilizing your capital on the platform by leveraging it in the form of lending, which is allowing you to earn interest in the form of yield, and you're earning a dividend, which is coming in the form of BNB and BUSD. So when I talk about how I would manage my position, so I talked about how I would enter the Animal Farm, how I would manage it is like how I would manage any other dividend paying asset, and that is I would utilize some percentage to secure profit. So maybe 3%, maybe 5%, maybe at the high end 10% of the BNB and BUSD earning that I'm earning on the platform, and just securing that as profit, and then taking the other 90 to 97% and utilizing it to increase my asset holdings on the platform, whether that's buying more dogs, buying more pigs, or buying more of the capital that I'm utilizing as collateral on the platform through staking. And that's how I would manage my position, right? I would secure profit in the form of BNB and BUSD, which is allowing me to maximize my my utility of the platform, because I'm not withdrawing dogs, I'm not selling dogs, which is incurring tax. I'm not withdrawing dogs, which is going to stop my ability to reduce my tax. I'm utilizing my dividends that I'm earning to increase my dog and increase my pig's position, which is allowing me to continue to reduce my tax. So you're avoiding these taxable events while leveraging your capital on the platform and increasing your asset holdings, which is in turn increasing your dividends, allowing you to secure more profit and um, strengthen your ownership of the platform. And it may sound like, oh, I'm only securing 3% profit or 5% profit on what I'm earning in dividends. Yes, that's true, but this is how you build wealth, because you're securing 5% or you're securing 3%, and the rest is going to increase your asset holdings, which in turn increases your dividends that you're earning, and making that 3 or 5% larger and larger and larger, to the point where maybe a year from now, that 3% that you're collecting is equivalent to 100% of the dividend you were earning initially. And this is how you build wealth, and this is how you uh, in this case avoid tax in the form of protocol tax, and in traditional markets avoid tax in the form of like state and federal tax. So it's very, very, very similar to uh, or the strategy I would use is very, very similar to the strategy I would use in traditional markets. And Animal Farm is the only platform that allows you to do that. The only DeFi platform that allows you to do that. And it's just the incentive structure. I hesitate because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, right? Because obviously I don't want to sound like that, but it's just the such a beautiful game theory and such a beautiful incentive structure. And the more I think about it, the more bullish I get on it. And we're just starting, right? So a large amount of the dividends are coming from taxes applied to the dog token. Right now, the most anybody could have reduced their dog token taxes by like 11 or 12%, which means not many people are selling dogs now. And the tax is applied to dog sales. So right now, the dividends that are being paid out are coming from the dogs that are being sold, and deposits and withdrawals, and the back end lending. And already we have something like $4 million worth of BNB in the dog pound reward vault, and something like $3.5 million worth of USD in the governance reward vault. And this is just getting started. This was with no lending injections from the V2 lending that's taking place. And this is with barely any dog transactions. But in, say, a month from now, a few weeks from now, a couple months from now, as some people will have reduced their tax on dogs, they'll start deciding, okay, it makes sense for me to start trading a little bit of dogs here, and that's going to incur tax, and that's just going to increase the dividends that are paid out to holders and people that are utilizing the system. And now is your chance to increase your position, so when that starts, you're able to as efficiently as possible collect that dividend. So now's the time to get in. Now's the time to buy and accumulate, because you're already earning, but it's just going to get more and more powerful as we go. And the game theory is designed to be that way. I know I'm long-winded. I can't help it. You may be muted.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My Telegram's just hella lagging. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that, and I think that's really great wisdom. Thanks for answering her question. I just want to respect your time, so maybe we'll just do a few more questions here. One
Sure.
question
I got a couple meetings today as well, so I'm not even sure what time they are. I'm someone that I'm working, and this is why I have a project manager to just be like, hey, you have a meeting now, you have a meeting now. So I'm not even sure when my next meeting is, but I know I do have meetings today. But yeah, I'm here, so let's go.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, and shout out to Ray for fielding some of the questions in the chat.
Oh yeah, Ray's one of the most influential, powerful people in our community. He's one of the most helpful people, and he's a good friend of mine. I've been rocking with Ray for years now, and really, we wouldn't have a lot of the success that we've had to this day without him. So he's the man.
Yeah. One question that I got was, what are the timeline or plans for? I know you had mentioned the layer 2 pools and talking about partnering with other projects to potentially
Yeah,
use your pigs or docs to earn those retorts. How's that going?
that's going well. So that is something that we want to implement after Scratchy. And the reason why we want to implement it after Scratchy is because the partners that we will be working with will be providing a share of their supply to be used as a dividend for people that pair our native tokens with their native tokens and stake those LP tokens. So people stake, for example, pigs and some other partner token, or pair pigs with some other partner token, and then stake that LP will earn the partner's token. And this can be done in two ways. Either the partner gives a share of their supply or allocates a share of their supply to our partnership vault as a way to pay this reward. And for doing this, they get massive exposure. They get representation on the a top 10 DeFi project, and we're not even 2 weeks old, and we're already like number 8 in all of DeFi on BSC. They get that exposure. They get exposure to a major community. They get a huge incentive for people to be buying their tokens. They get a massive liquidity pool because when they pair with our assets, they get exposure to our liquidity pool, and they get this new utility and an incentive to remove their assets from circulation, which is very bullish. But there's another layer to this, which adds a whole nother massive angle as far as the like how extremely positive this can be for them, and that's with Scratchy. So Scratchy is a white label scratch ticket project that we developed where projects can host the sale of scratch tickets utilizing their theming, utilizing their imagery and their branding on their platform. They sell these scratch tickets, and it's unlike any other game or lottery in all of DeFi. So the current model, I would say the closest thing to what Scratchy is doing would be like PancakeSwap lottery. And what that is people buy a ticket. There's like a 24-hour countdown, and at the end of the 24 hours, one ticket is randomly chosen utilizing Chainlink, and whoever had that winning ticket wins a portion of the capital that went to buying tickets, and that's it. So people buy a ticket, they have to wait 24 hours, and then there's one winner, and that one winner wins a flat rate. With Scratchy, it's taking this kind of model like into the stratosphere, like not even comparable, just really blowing it out of the water. And it's doing that through a NFT scratch ticket model. So the platforms that adopt this white label model will be selling their own scratch tickets on their platform. Each scratch ticket is represented by an NFT. It's sold in batches of 10,000. So 10,000 tickets, tickets that cost 0.1 BNB and 0.3 BNB. So there's a variety of prize tiers and ticket prices that you can decide to go with. Of course, the higher prize tiers, just like the traditional scratch ticket model, has larger prizes and greater probabilities of winning. Now, when you buy a ticket, just like the traditional scratch ticket model, you can immediately scratch it. And in our case, you're interacting with the NFT using your mouse to scratch it. And it looks just like a scratch ticket where you scratch the 5 numbers at the top and then scratch a series of numbers at the bottom. If you have a matching number, you win. You can immediately see what you won. You can immediately claim your prize and decide if you want to go buy more tickets with it, or just claim your money. So it has a way better game mechanic and immediate gratification like you have with traditional scratch tickets, which are way more fun and a way better user experience for the average user. And it allows people, if they want, to just play all day. They could play all day. They can win. They can lose. But whether they win or lose, there's always a path to profit. And the reason why there's always a path to profit is because it has a revenue sharing, decentralized ownership model. So when you buy a ticket, 60% of the BNB that's used to buy tickets goes towards the prizes. So 50% goes towards the prizes of the next batch of tickets that are sold. 10% go into a jackpot treasury, which increases the size of the jackpot with each batch, and each individual platform can decide what percentage of the jackpot treasury they want to use for each batch. So if they have some kind of special event, they can increase the jackpot for that specific batch, and it gives an additional element of sovereignty to each platform to really be able to use it as a promotional tool as well as new utility, and a reason for people to be visiting their site every day and utilizing their token. And the reason why I say utilizing their token is because 60% goes towards prizes, 15% of the BNB used to buy tickets goes towards a buyback model, which buys their token. So whatever platform hosts the tickets, they can decide what token it's buying back. And it buys back this token, and now it's up to the host of the tickets to determine what happens with these tokens. And they can burn them. They can use them as a reward for some sort of staking model. They can use them to pay their developers, whatever they want to do with those tokens. Another 10% goes towards the revenue sharing model. So every new platform that onboards our white label service increases the amount of BNB which is being paid out to the revenue sharing staking model, which is powerful because it's another product that allows you to earn a dividend in BNB, and it's a product that's actually providing real utility and has a strong use case. It's not just we're not just minting tokens and paying out yield in this token. We're actually providing utility and use case and providing a service which is a profit generating service, and then this profit is shared. So this is the future for us, right? Providing products that are profit generating and are fully decentralized, that provide strong utility and service all of DeFi as a whole. So not just our platforms, but our white label service that allows virtually anybody to adopt the model. And of course, it'll be used first on our platforms to give us the first mover advantage and also provide that utility to our platforms. But the more people that adopt it, the more bullish it is for us, the project as a whole, and our existing platforms. And then we take a 10% dev fee, which allows us to pay for a 10% dev fee and a 5% Oracle fee. So that allows us to pay for the Oracle. It allows us to pay for the development. It allows us to build the APY on the partner sites. So there's an element of maintenance and upkeep and continued development that takes place in this project, since it's a white label product that is something that constantly needs to be worked on, and that's paid for through a 10% dev fee on it, which is less than any other scratch ticket model in the world. So if you look at how the current traditional scratch ticket model works, is 60% or more of the capital that's used to buy scratch tickets goes towards the state and administration fees. And in our case, we're providing the same utility, but with much greater transparency, proven fairness. So it's proven trustlessness, proven randomization of the winner selection, profit sharing, and the lowest overhead, which means more capital going to prizes, more capital going to partner buybacks, and more capital going to the revenue sharing model. And partners can decide that they want to use the tokens that are being bought back through their Scratchy sales as the reward for a partnership vault on Animal Farm. So they adopt our white label Scratchy service, and now they don't need to allocate a portion of their supply by minting it or by handing it over. It's coming from an additional utility that we're providing to their platform that's adding buy pressure to their token, and then this buy pressure is capturing tokens that can be used as a reward model to further add incentive for people to remove their tokens from circulation and all of the utility that comes with the partnership vault. So this is why we're going to deploy the partnership vaults after Scratchy, and it's we already have one blue chip NFT project that's 100% down. Of course, we're doing a Chainlink integration, which we've already had meetings with them about co-promotion, and that's another reason why partners will want to join us, because every partner that utilizes our Scratchy model is providing more users for Link and Chainlink has already agreed to promote any of these platforms that utilize Scratchy. So it's a major co-promotion from us and from Link. And Link will be heavily co-promoting the fact that we're launching this. So that's another major we'll call it an integration, not a partnership, because that's the word, that's the language that Chainlink likes to use, but it's, it is what it is. And one of the major analytic sites that we love, my favorite analytic sites, we're in talks with them as well. They're interested in a partnership, and just so much more top level projects with strong utility that have strong teams that are really movers and shakers in DeFi are interested in contacting us about partnership vaults and potentially Scratchy as part of that. So the partnership vaults are going to be big. They're another way that people can earn cash flow in our platform. Another way that we can create a huge co-promotion, and none of this cash flow is coming from the inflation of our assets. So it's very, very bullish, and that's something that will be coming most likely Q1 or Q2 of next year.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting, the whole Scratchy model, and sounds like intrinsically would be a lot of fun to play too. Which adds a lot of value.
There's a lot that I didn't touch on. For example, each ticket has a specific multiplier associated with it that determines the amount of revenue share that you earn, and the price of the ticket determines what this multiplier is. And when you stake it, this multiplier is effectively reducing by 1/5 or by 20% every month. So it prevents the revenue sharing pool from being diluted. So as more platforms adopt the service, the B&B that's being paid out in the revenue share scales and grows exponentially, but the revenue sharing pool does not become diluted, because there's a form of time decay on the NFTs that prevent this from happening. And it also makes it very easy for someone to sell these on a secondary market, because on the NFT itself, on the image, it shows what the current multiplier is and how long you have in days to earn. And this updates automatically when you stake it. So if you go to sell the ticket on a secondary market, the people that are buying it know, okay, this ticket has already been scratched, so I can't win a prize on it, but I can earn a share of the revenue for the next 4 months with this specific multiplier on it. And it creates a very cool market dynamic where people who are just interested in scratching to play the game and win the prizes can do that and then sell the tickets, the scratch tickets, at a discounted price for people who are not so interested in the game part of it, but are interested in increasing their share ownership of the platform. And it's just set up in just like the ultimate way for these kinds of market dynamics. And there's so much more I could get into, but I don't want to keep going about Scratchy. But we're gonna be raising capital for Scratchy, either at the end of December or Q1 of next year. That's the plan for it. And we're going to be doing that in our DAO, which is our private DAO, where we do our private raises, and we will be opening up more positions to our private DAO before we do that. But that's something that people should just kind of watch our social media, join our Telegram group, watch our pin posts, and just kind of stay tuned, because more info will be coming out about that over the next coming months.
Thanks, Forex. Just one last question here before we close out. I apologize to anyone that I can't get your question. I'm just getting so many DMs. But I guess a lot of the DMs. What are your thoughts on the current price action of DRIP, and how do you anticipate the many utilities that we see from DRIP coming with said DRIP price action?
Yeah, well, DRIP. Before we launched Animal Farm, I made it pretty clear what my opinion of how it would likely affect the DRIP price, because it's relatively predictable. Whenever we do some sort of new integration that provides utility and provides support for DRIP, but also provides a new investment opportunity, what typically happens is you have a immediate migration of capital from DRIP to whatever this new investment opportunity is, which causes a correction in DRIP in the short term. But then this new utility that was added ends up having a net positive effect on the price over the coming months to come. And this has happened several times. It's very predictable that something like this would happen, and it's what I said would likely happen. Now, with that said, we know that the market as a whole has corrected about 85%. Altcoins have corrected larger than that. But when you account for the yield that DRIP is paid out and include that into the price valuation, we have outperformed all of the major altcoins in crypto. And this includes Cake, this includes BNB itself, this includes all of the major altcoins, because DRIP is paying out a sustainable 1% interest daily. And I could go into the dynamics about how it's able to sustain this, and it's largely due to the restrictions that we put on compounding and the max payouts that we limit people to, and the very aggressive affiliate program, which allows for compounded and exponential onboarding, paired with the limitations that we put on exponential growth and compounding on the staking faucet, the reward staking contract. So when you account for the fact that when you account for the yield that we've paid out with the current price of DRIP, we've done a price correction in DRIP that's on par with the rest of the market, right? It's about on par with BNB and Cake and these other tokens, but we're paying out yield that is thousands of times higher than any of these tokens. So it's when you account for all factors, DRIP is outperforming all of these other major assets out there. And on top of that, we've just added major utility, which we knew, since it's an additional investment opportunity, would migrate some capital from DRIP, but in the long run provide more utility and have a net positive effect on DRIP. So overall, I feel good about DRIP. I've always felt good about DRIP, and I've learned a lot from DRIP as well. So one of the things I've learned is you can generate profit for your investor base in a series of ways. One way is through paying out high yield in the token itself, which is what DRIP does. Then the other is high price appreciation, which is good, but is limited, or a combination of the two, which is what Animal Farm is doing, and that is paying out rewards both through price appreciation and through a third-party dividend model, which is not your asset, and in this case it's BAB and BUSD, and creating an incentive structure where you're allowing price appreciation and increased dividend rewards, but these dividend rewards are not causing sell pressure on your native assets because they're being paid out in BNB or BUSD in this case. And in fact, it allows for more positive price appreciation because that BNB and BUSD can be used to compound back into your liquidity pool in the case of the auto compounding dog pound, or people just manually using their dividend to buy more dogs and buy more pigs, and in the auto pig pen, which is in the works right now to allow people to earn compound interest in the form of BUSD, which is utilized to increase their pig position. So overall, I'm bullish on DRIP in the long term. The current volatility and looking at the overall market, all of this is very predictable. We knew it would happen. I said it would happen for months leading up to the launch of Animal Farm, and what's important to me is that our products are providing real utility, and they have a strong market fit, and they are sustainable. And if you look at any of our competition, we are doing all of these. We're hitting all of these factors in a much better way. So we're in peak bear market now. Animal Farm is just outperforming the market like crazy, both in price and in dividend paid out. And then DRIP is outperforming the market mostly through yield being paid out. But of course, profit is profit, and whether it's in yield being paid out or it's in price appreciation, it's all good. But in my opinion, the best way to do it is in a way that allows for price appreciation, because the average user, the people on the sidelines, the people that are not looking at all of the metrics, there's no better form of promotion than just the price going up. That you get on the trending list, people FOMO in. So every, just this is the last question, let me just kind of wrap it up by saying I created my Discord group about 6 years ago with the intention of teaching some of my family and friends about investing, because all of them were asking me. And I created this Discord group. Well, first I joined a couple other Discord groups, and I saw that all of them were just, shilling centralized exchange referral links, and like none of them were quality. So I created my own because I didn't want to invite my family and friends to those groups. And I thought this would be good. I'll use it as a trade journal for myself, and just a place to jot down thoughts and keep track of my trades and all of this. And I'll help my family and friends, hopefully, and teach them a little bit about investing, because I've been investing since high school. It's been my primary income since just a couple years out of high school, but I started in high school. And I brought them on, and I started trying to teach them everything I knew about trading, everything I knew about investing, and it became apparent very quickly that the people who were going to be successful trading and investing were people that had the ability to be self-driven and self-teaching and take the initiative. And there was very little impact I could have as far as my ability to turn people into profitable traders. It was long term, yes, but in the short term, which is what most of them were interested in, actually doing like day to day trading, it was next to impossible, if not impossible. So this is when I decided to focus more on developing tools and products that would allow them to earn without needing to focus on speculative trading and without needing to time the market. And I started this by working on some various bots that I had that uh, I was working with that did things such as like anti-rug bots, which would get you out of a position if the founder called the remove liquidity function, things like this. And then I moved to Reap, which was my first shot at doing a token. And I started with Reap for very specific reasons because it was simple and elegant, but had the right game theory to reward long-term holding, and it was simple and elegant enough that it could be a base to start building onto. And Reap is doing amazing. Reap is up something like 1,000x right now in these down market conditions. Reap is up 1,000x from listing, and has very strong utility in our DAO. That's our DAO token. You need to hold 300 Reap to get access to our private DAO where we do our pre-sales. Also, where I share some we all share info about our different investments and trades and what we're getting into and all of these things. There's major utility there. We're making a lot of money in there, but regardless of that, that's why I started developing, because I make, and I've always made, but especially now being one of the highest performing traders in the world objectively, I make way more money trading than I do through developing. But I see developing as a way where I get to do something I love, which is build. I get to add value and utility to the world. I make money, right? I make enough money that it's worth it from a financial standpoint, even though it's not as much money as I make trading. And uh, I get to really help my family and friends and now the wider community. And this means a lot to me. And I realized I was not going to be able to do that through teaching people how to trade. And also, uh, this is something that I've spoke about. It should be obvious to most people, but it's not. Uh, no trading strategy is infinitely scalable. I have a very specific trading strategy that I use and I've designed over the past 5 years. And I could not teach it to people and have everybody I teach be profitable and just have that scale. It doesn't work like that. So I realized that even if I could teach people how to trade and have them actually become profitable traders, I would have to teach everybody my system to be able to do that, and very quickly, none of us would be making money because we'd be cannibalizing each other. So, so I decided to focus on development, and every step of the way, from REIT till Animal Farm, has been about developing systems that allow people to earn without the need of speculative trading, because that's where most people lose money in the market. And every product I've launched has been a step further towards this. And it's been an evolution of my process of creating products that allow people to earn as owners in strong fundamental projects without the need for speculative trading. And Animal Farm, I feel, is the peak of this due to your ability to provide value in the form of capital, state collateral, and earn a dividend in the form of BNB and BUSD, which allows you to passively earn in a way that does not require you to sell the native assets and time the market to secure profit. And this is right now the most optimal form of this kind of this kind of product that allows you to earn without speculation. And I think that we absolutely nailed it. There's still a ton that needs to be done, but the core utility is there. And now we basically laid the foundation to build on top of. And we have so much more to come. We're going to be adding, right now, we're doing a form of institutional lending where we're lending to PancakeSwap. We have a couple other major DeFi platforms that we're interested in doing this kind of institutional lending to, which will be opt in. And next year, we will be having individualized lending and insurance added to the utility of Animal Farm, which will allow people to take out an individualized loan against their collateral and be able to insure their stakes on the platform. And again, everything I do from this point on is going to be something that serves all of DeFi. So it will not just serve our platforms, but it will start with a couple of the top projects and spread from there. And the goal is to start being able to insure some of these major, these major, fully immutable, fully decentralized, non-collateral platforms, and do it in a way that's sustainable, that's secure, that makes sense, and allow people to have a real decentralized lending model that meets all of the different utilities of lending, not just collateralized lending to institutions, but individualized lending and other forms of lending. So there's so much more to come. We have games coming. I just did a meeting with someone who is a casino developer. What I told them was, I'm not so interested in casino games because although there is utility there and people want to play games, I'm more interested in poker because poker is something where there is a element of skill and people can have a positive edge if they put in the time and if they learn the skill, rather than something like a casino game where there's kind of a built-in negative edge for the user. I'm not super interested in that, but it's something that we could do, right? Because people at the end of the day do want to play games. The thing with something like Scratchy is that each scratch ticket that you buy acts like a share of the platform. So it's not something with a built-in negative edge, right? Because you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning a prize or more, depending on the price tier that you buy into, but you're also getting a share ownership of the platform. So this is where there's a net positive edge there. And I never want to do anything that has a baked in negative edge for the user. So that's why I'm kind of standoffish about casinos in general and sports books. But I'm very interested in poker and having people be able to like play poker and have more like skill based games like that. And there's a couple other games that we're working on that are skill based that are very fun, such as Dogs of Fortune and a ton of other stuff that we have in the roadmap in the works that will be coming out. And we have about 6 products that are developed in various states of development. Some of them are fully developed. Some of them just need the UI done. Some of them, for example, the Dogs of Fortune game, the initial contracts were developed, but I would like to add a team element to it. So I'm going to kind of go back and do a bit more like back-end development on that. But we have about 6 products with like 2 or 3 of them fully developed, another 3 or 4 that are 80-90% developed, and I just hired someone else, a very very intelligent doctor that I am that I'm good friends with, to reverse engineer a game that I'm very interested in basically creating a decentralized version of. So we have a ton of coals in the fire right now, or a ton of pokers in the fire, however you want to say it. And we're in a position to be able to launch a new high demand, like major impact product every month or every other month for the next 2 years. And this is why we're really trying to add to our team and add more developers, because ideally it doesn't take 2 years to push it all out. But if it does, that's cool too, because there'll be something new and awesome and amazing coming out every couple months for the next 2 years. Or we get more developers on and we have a faster time period where we're pushing something once a month and it takes a year or something. But there's so much more to come. This is just the beginning. This is just the foundation. We're just getting started, and we're in the perfect position to really take advantage of the current ecosystem with all these centralized platforms messing up, ruining people's lives. And the answer to that is open source, truly decentralized, non-custodial products that are operating on a solid network like BSC and have true market fit, true utility, and that's what we're delivering. And we're in a perfect position to do that, and it's the perfect time to do that at kind of peak bear market. So we're really only going to grow from here. Maybe we do a bit more of a correction from here, but at the end of the day, this is just a perfect time to build and develop, and that's what we're doing, and it's very exciting. And I feel great. I wake up every morning feeling great.
Thanks, FOREX, for that. I think this is why don't I kind of just summarize kind of what you've shared during this AMA, land the plane for a few people, and then you can maybe close this out and we can end the AMA. So today we've kind of talked about, FOREX kind of give us his insight and his thoughts about the current market conditions and how they really show the need for decentralized finance, such as Animal Farm. Right now, they are currently trying to expand the team with an emphasis on marketing, but other things like professionalism and integrity, especially. Some things that are around the immediate corner include fiat on-ramping for drip, dogs, and pigs in that order. Expect that maybe within 3 weeks or a month. And then potentially also we are seeing the Pigpen governance token governance coming around. Scratchies also is essentially developed. There will be a funding round that is primarily first in the REAP DAO, and they're going to be opening spots up for that. And there's a lot of utility in that DAO as well. So think about joining that. Other things that were mentioned are things like insurance and lending, using your collateral and Animal Farm to leverage those things. There were questions about drip and the price action, but in reality, given the current market sentiment and how other tokens are performing, really, drip continues to pay very stable yield, and drip and all things in the drip ecosystem in reality are outperforming the market. Some things to think about are to be thoughtful about how you can leverage Animal Farm to increase your wealth, especially in the current market. And then lastly, the FOREX and team are continuing to work to add more utility. Their goal is to, with the expansion of their team, is to release high impact products within this ecosystem every several months without ever jeopardizing security or anything like sustainability. So I don't know if you want to respond to that or add anything to that, but
yeah, that was a beautiful wrap up. I 100% agree. I'd just like to say thank you for doing this AMA. It was a great AMA. If anybody has any additional questions, come into the Telegram group. You're already in the Telegram group if you're listening live, but for people that are not live and are going to be listening to this after the fact, join our Telegram group. We have a form that you can fill out that every Thursday we're coming on and doing an AMA where we address all of those questions. And other than that, I've basically said what I need to say. I appreciate the opportunity to come and answer people's questions. I love coming and speaking to the community. One thing that we're going to be working more on is exposure of our own social medias. For example, we have a YouTube channel. We're going to start posting more to our YouTube channel. So those AMAs every Thursday will be added to our own YouTube channel. We have a new Animal Farm Twitter account that we just created, and that is because there's a lot of reasons why it needs to have its own independent social medias. One of them is for listing purposes and for our ability to get on these various platforms. They need to have their own independent social medias, and also just because it is a separate product, it does deserve to have its own social medias, and it will allow us to increase our ability to market and be more effective with our messaging. So we do have a 5%, a $500 BUSD prize going out today. The way that you have a chance of winning the prize is by joining our new Twitter. So it's called Animal Farm DeFi. So at Animal Farm DeFi on Twitter. Follow there. Follow our at Drip community. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is just Animal Farm, and join our Telegram group. Join our Animal Farm Telegram group. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a random user, and we have Gleam. So we use Gleam's API, which has a randomization function, which allows us to pick a random winner from our social medias. And what we're going to do is pick a random winner. We're going to verify that they're in all 4 of our social medias. So Animal Farm, so at Animal Farm DeFi, at Drip Community, following or subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is just Animal Farm, and in our Telegram group. And if you meet all 4 of these criteria, then we will pay you out $500 BUSD. And if not, we'll just pick another random user. So until we find someone that meets all of these 4. Also, you can join our Gleam contest, which is going to be live until the start of the year, January 1st. And it has a lot of these same tasks. So if you go to animalfarm.app, you'll hit the landing page. There's a contest there, and use that API to sign up for all of these things. And each one that you do acts as an entry into the contest. And at the end, on January 1st, we're going to pick a random user, and we're going to pay them out $5,000. And we already did that. A guy named Josiah just a couple of days ago won $5,000 worth of BUSD. And he came in, he celebrated with us. It was a beautiful thing. And this is something that we do to not only give back, but also create excitement for the platform. And we're able to do the payment in BUSD, which means we're not just paying out in our token, which will cause sell pressure. We pay out in BUSD, which the person that wins it often uses just to buy into our product. So it helps everything. And it's just great for a promotional standpoint, and it gives a chance for people who are tuned in, who are paying attention, and ready to take advantage to actually take advantage of these things. So thanks, CryptoDoc. I appreciate the opportunity. We'll have to do a follow-up in maybe a month or a couple months. And great questions, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Forex Shark, for your time. Thank you so much for everyone that came to be a part of this and listen. Great questions. Very exciting to see what is in store. So with that, I'm going to end and stop the recording in the AMA. Thank you guys again for all being here.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to see, I potentially have meetings that are coming up or that I've ran through. So I got to hop off now and just touch base. So thank you. I'm going to end the chat now.
So there we go. What do we think of that? He can talk, can't he? Blimey. Honestly, I love listening to Forex. I think he's a fascinating guy to listen to. God, he can talk. Right, let's just stick some music on for that same blinking one again. Dobby, no, I don't think he did mention the new UI. I didn't see when that would be coming out. He pretty much talked about everything else, but didn't mention the UI. But I know previous EMAs, I'm sure he was trying to get that out before the turn of the year. Yeah, he didn't mention it in that end, well, not that I heard anyway. So just as a bit of a recap then, so let's be frank, most important thing, money. We all want money, don't we? So firstly, don't forget this competition. This is the competition that he's on about that's going on to the end of the year. It's on the animalfarm.app. I'll put a link in the chat. If you haven't already entered, There aren't that many people that have entered it so far. 519. That's nothing. It's fairly straightforward. All you got to do is go to the new Twitter link. You've got to retweet a tweet, and then you get extra entries for send your link to your friends. And if they click on the link, then you'll get extra entries. So yeah, go and enter that. The $500 prize that he's on about. You need to, again, I've put links to the Twitter links. So you've got Animal Farm DeFi, so at Animal Farm DeFi is the new Animal Farm Twitter link. You've got at drip.community, which is the Drip Twitter link. You need to be on Telegram. I can put the link to Telegram in the chat as well. And you also need to be following or subscribing to the YouTube channel, the Animal Farm YouTube channel, which there isn't much on there at the moment. But yeah, if you go and subscribe to that, you need to be subscribed to all 4 of those things, and they're going to pick someone at random. While we're talking about YouTube, don't forget. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because it really does help me out. I'm trying to get to my first big goal was 100 subscribers. I never thought I'd get to that, but I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. When I get to that, there's going to be another giveaway that I'm going to do. So we got 3 drip. If you haven't entered that, it's ! raffle, and you can enter that draw when I get to 500 drip. So yeah, he was talking. I love the fact there's a master plan. Master plan. I just got this image of him sat on a chair with a cat. I don't know. It's just... Anyway, so he's got his master plan. A couple of interviews a week. We know that's going to be starting, and we know about these weekly AMAs he's going to be doing to answer questions. So you can submit your questions, and they'll answer the questions for you. The fiat on-ramp, that seems to be the big thing that he's focusing on at the moment. He's mentioned that in the last 2 or 3 AMAs. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we'll grain of salt with that. It might not be a couple of weeks, FOREX being FOREX, but it's taking a couple of weeks, so we'll see where he goes with that. That's going to be massive. Just being able to go onto the website here, or here. I mean, drip's going to be first, isn't it? From what he said. So. At the moment, if you want to buy drip, you've got to go to the swap page here, but you've got to have BNB in your wallet. You've got to get the BNB into your wallet, but it's just going to be a case of clicking a button that says buy. You can just use your card. It just makes it so much easier. All you need is a MetaMask wallet, which is the easy bit. I mean, that literally takes minutes. So even I fathomed out how to do that without too much hard work. So most people would be able to do that, I would think. So yeah, I mean that's coming in the next couple of weeks. What else have I got in my notes? Scratchy looks like it's going to be end of the year, Q1 next year. We've got the we were talking about the fiat on ramp. So drip's going to be first, then dogs, then pigs. Didn't give any time scales between the 3, but yeah, drip looks like it's going to be the first on the fiat on ramp. Obviously, that's going to be huge. Then he was on about the governance system, which is if you are a pig holder and you're in the pig pen, you'll be able to vote on what happens with your money and everybody else's money. So you'll have a say in what goes on, and there'll be regular votes that will happen to determine where things go and what happens with staking and interest rates and APYs and all that sort of stuff. So where money's invested, how long it's invested, how often things are paid out. All these things are going to be voted on, and if you're a pig holder and you're in the pig pen, you're going to have a say on that. So whether there's a limit, he hasn't mentioned a limit. I've only got 3 pigs, but at the moment, as far as I know, I'm going to have a say on that. So that's good. You're a part owner of this system. What else we got? We got Dogs Roulette. That's coming out hopefully before the end of the year. Again, it really makes me laugh whenever people ask FOREX about what his strategy is. I've said this to Driptopian before when I met him at the football. So you got this guy who is the number 2 trader in the world, and the number one apparently isn't even a real person. So let's call him the number one. But number two is the number two trader in the world. Someone's asking him what his strategy is, and he's, I mean, bless him. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to give financial advice, so he's being very cautious in how he's wording it. But he's trying to say, yeah, I'd be doing this, I'd be doing, and I just imagine thousands of people just literally sat at their computer screens or their phones, just literally screwing things down. Just like, oh my god, I gotta get down. I was trying to write down stuff as quick as I could, or as slyly as I could. But yeah, so we're basically splitting 50-50 dogs between farm and the auto compounding. Makes perfect sense. Obviously, it depends how much that you're putting in. But yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm halfway there. I'm in the dog pound, as I've shown you before. So there we go. There's my 4 little dogs. They're working hard. But again, just to clear up that confusion that he's tried to clear up a couple of times. So when you stake your dogs in the auto compounding pool, you are earning BNB. But that's what you're earning. But you're not rewarded on the BNB in terms of pigs. What then happens is those BNB are then taken away and they're split, and half of the BNB goes and gets BUSD, and it's then placed in the farm, and so basically you've got a liquidity token. Sorry, not BUSD, dogs, wasn't it? I've mixed up this. You got basically getting BNB, and half of that is buying dogs, and you've got the other half is BNB. So that is then your liquidity token, and you're rewarded on the liquidity token. So it's this bit down the bottom here that is then earning your pigs. So if you have put money in the auto compounding pool, if you see your dog staked here, you've got to be in for at least 24 hours before you start seeing any liquidity tokens being earned. So you won't see anything up here yet. If you've only just put in, there'll be nothing up here other than your dog staked. It'll be at least 24 hours before you start seeing your LP tokens, and then another 24 hours before you start earning pigs. The pigs are now, you've got extra decimal points now. So just for us little drippers, got a few extra decimal points. So we can start seeing our pigs being earned. So mine's been in for a couple of days. Well, it's just over a week now, isn't it? And it started to generate me some pigs. Not a lot, because I haven't put a lot in. So again, manage your expectations. Don't think you're going to get 10 pigs out if you stick $200 in. That's not going to happen. Although it'd be nice if it did, but it won't. So yeah, just to clear up that confusion. But yeah, it always makes me laugh when he's on about his trading strategies, and then I can just picture thousands of people just desperately trying to write down, oh, what am I going to? I've got to get that he's going to do this, he's going to do that. This is what FOREX had told me to do. It just makes me laugh. So I thought it was useful and interesting the way he was talking about the pig pen. I mean, again, I wrote at the top, I love my pig pen. Again, I haven't got many pigs, but this is all just free money. And the fact that you just sat there holding these assets, the assets are doing their own thing. I haven't sold any pigs, they're just earning me money. I mean, what's not to like? It's fantastic. So, obviously the more pigs you got, the more you're going to earn. I think it was John Luke who said that he thinks that the pig price might go down to $60. Don't know. Surprised if it went down that low, but if it did, I'd be getting as many as I could personally, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It was listening to him talk about the plans and what's coming up. Looks like Scratch is going to be the beginning of next year. I'd be surprised if we get this before Christmas now. From everything you've heard there, I'll be surprised if we get this before Christmas. And then what was the last thing that he on my notes here? So, the competition. We talked about the competition, so make sure that if you haven't entered the competition, go and enter the competition, because it's $5,000 at the end of the day. So that's not to be sniffed at. So there's 2 competitions that are running now. You've got this one, which is the $5,000 giveaway, and then you've got the one where you just need to go and follow the two Twitter handles, so Animal Farm and Drip Community. You need to follow the YouTube page for Animal Farm, and you need to be in Telegram for Animal Farm. I'm just going to pick someone at random and give them $500 as long as you're in all 4. So there's 2 competitions going on at the moment. So well worth entering if you're not already in. Again, I said this last week. It does make me laugh when he's on about what what he was doing and investing in foreign exchange and cryptocurrencies and God knows what when he was at high school. And I was doing this. Well, that sounds wrong again, doesn't it? I wasn't doing this, but I was just watching Jet from Gladiators. That's what I was doing. What was I doing with my life? Anyway, there we go. That's me hanging myself out to dry. So there we are. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts were. Thanks for joining. It was a long AMA, longer than I expected it to be. Apologies, I had to duck out for 5 minutes. I had to go and give my ticket for the game tonight, which I'm still gutted about. But having tested positive for COVID, I can't go. I feel all right, but probably best to stay here and I'll watch it on the TV, which I'm gutted about. But there we go. So again, please, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. It does help. It helps get the message out there, gets the video out there, get the drip name out there. It helps this algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. As I said, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. So remember, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I've got a giveaway which I'm doing at the moment. When I get to 500 subscribers, we'll give 3 drip away. So it's exclamation mark raffle if you want to enter that. And that, I think, is bringing us to the end of that. So thanks very much for joining. Don't forget, you'll be able to catch the recording of the AM. If you didn't get all of it, this will be, it automatically sticks it on as a recording, so you can watch it at your leisure. You can sort of edit me out, get all of the crap that I waffle on about. So am I allowed to say crap? I've said crap. I've said it a couple of times now, so there we go. Anyway, so have a good evening, everybody. I'm going to stop the stream now, and I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, because I think I've earned one. I might have a beer, actually. Yeah, I'm going to have a beer, stuff for tea. So have a good evening, everybody. Wolves 3-0 against Arsenal tonight. Absolutely. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 sneaky win. I reckon we can do it. Yeah. Anyway, right, take it easy, guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'll be doing some other videos, so obviously make sure you catch those, and I'll see you on the next stream. Take it easy. See you guys.